Bam! Now we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Tale of Two Lions, episode 2. Thank you all so very much. I just want to take a quick second and say thank you all so much for the support for episode 1. It was awesome, and hopefully we get more. I'm in the wrong scene.
It happens. To the best of us.
Thankfully, the players probably didn't see anything. Sin, I literally already know you're preparing because you see all and know all. It's
true.
Just that.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Welcome. This is what I get when I say, yeah, I can run tech, and then I really, really worry about episode 1, and I mostly get things right, and then going to episode 2, I'm like, I know what I'm doing now, it's all fine. So anyways.
Honey, it's stream. Things always go wrong.
Exactly. Who cares? Whatever. We're fine. It wasn't anything huge. Welcome in, one and all. My name is Anoriand, aka Josh Fagundis. Welcome to A Tale of Two Lions. Unlike last time, I'm actually going to go ahead and start by letting everyone introduce themselves, and then I will go ahead and do my little spiel about our sponsors and so forth before we get into the game. So, if you will direct yourself to my left, your right on the screen, Wally, would you take it away and say hi and where people can find you?
Sup, y'all? It's me, Wally, your favorite non-binary slime best friend on the internet. You can find me at Twitter at WALLE132, like a cute little Disney robot that cleans up the trash that humans left behind. Today, I am playing Virgil Wormtooth. I got a last name this time. Ha! And they are the Monk Dragoon. That's what they are.
Thank you kindly. And then DK.
Hi, hello, that's me. I'm DK. You can find me on Twitter at AbbaDarling, sharing my every thought with the world, whether you want to hear it or not. It's mostly a lot about aestheticism and D&D campaigns, things like that. You can also catch me over on Exquisite Corpse Presents, primarily tonight, immediately after this.
I'm going to be there too.
Josh will also be there later. There are going to be like 9 people on screen fighting. It's going to be incredible. I'm terrified. So, if you want to see Josh be very, very frightening, swing through for that. And today I'll be playing Salacia Farcyrus, the Dragonkin weirdo.
Yeah, if you want to see me be frightening, which certainly won't happen here.
I don't like that. I don't like that you said that.
So Lexi, speaking of that,
my name's Lexi, otherwise known as the Black Girl Mage. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch doing all the things. But I'm here tonight playing Fallon Invictus, our human machinist. That's how I say it. I hope everyone's saying it that way too. But yeah, she got a big old screwdriver. It's not a screwdriver.
Wrench.
Yeah, it's a wrench. Yeah, she got a big old wrench.
I mean, you can make a screwdriver if you want.
You got a big old wrench, and I'm a big old wench.
There we go. It's a double team, We have the dream team.
I often get double teamed. Yeah.
Dream team. This is how I'm setting it up. That was an alley oop. But yeah, that's
a high five above an awful tower.
No.
How
this is going exactly
every time
how I
you come
it.
around.
The best.
I mean, I don't come every time they come around.
Like London Bridge.
Like London Bridge. I'm distracting from everything. Continue, Lexi.
No, that's it.
Sin, you want to go from here? Because I can't hand it off to Sephi. Her power will be too great.
Rude.
Hi. This is your resident sunflower person of the he, them pyre. Also playing Zeros, who is your resident rude knight and who in character has no idea what's happening, but as a player, Gaffgarian can catch me in these streets.
You know what's going on. And I
that's
guess
that on that.
We're going to go ahead and let Sephi have her fun now.
Hi, I'm Sephi. I'm a big wench. I'm playing Feldspar Licio, who is not quite as confident as I am. Not exactly.
Hard left turn, but it's okay. Before we start, of course, I am your storyteller for the evening, Anoriand. And let me just go ahead and shout out our sponsors. We have 2 major sponsors and 3 sponsor spots. because that's what I do. The first sponsor is the game itself that we're actually playing today. We are going to thank our sponsor, Valorous Games, who created the Valor role-playing system, which we are using for the game. It is crunchy, yet freeform. It is actually perfect if you're trying to run anything that is Final Fantasy Tactics-esque or anything that is very anime or along those lines. You create your techniques, you build up skills. So instead of classes, you just build your character out of your pile of points and such. It's super fun. It's super great. We're really, really excited to have it. If you hit !Valor in the chat right now, it will show you a link both to their Twitter page where you can follow them, as well as to their actual business page, valorousgames.com. While you're there, you can go ahead and peruse. If you wish to buy a copy for yourself, obviously you can. However, I can tell you now, by next week, the Kickstarter page should be live for the reprint of the book that they are going to be kickstarting, which will have some errata added to it, corrected, what have you, as well as some name changes fixed and the like. So if you're interested in that, definitely keep an eye out on it. But by the time we are live next week, I should be able to add the link to that Kickstarter to the command. So definitely look for that. Our second sponsor, you can see a part of their screen directly below me, that blue box, excuse me, that would be Adventuring Kit. An Adventuring Kit is an awesome, completely free at base, though there is a premium subscription, virtual tabletop. It is system agnostic, much like Roll20 or what have you, but I can tell you now, the very first time I believe all of the players with me, or at least most of them, got to use it was last week, and I think all of them are willing to say how quick and clean and easy it was to just grab your piece, move it around, do whatever, and all of us interact with each other while the game was going on. It has basically no lag, it's extremely clean, it's very well designed, and I absolutely love the system. If you hit !Adventure in chat, you can get the link to their Twitter as well, and of course, you can get the link to the site. And I did mention 3 sponsor spots because I'm going to be doing this the entire run. We originally had a third sponsor. Unfortunately, it could not go through. So we're going to take the third slot every day to every show to shout out a particular cause, person, Kickstarter, whatever it may be that we want to grow or that we want to assist and we want to put a lens on as a team. And last week, I surprised one of our cast members by ambushing them and not giving them the information. No, Sephi, I'm not doing it to you again. That's actually my point. This week, I have upped the ante by straight up lying to one of my cast members and telling them that I was not doing this because all was good. But I'm a fucking liar, folks. So if you could do me a favor and hit !DK in chat, I want to draw your attention to the GoFundMe for DK, which is they could use some assistance right now. It did technically hit the goal. I would like to be fully transparent. It did technically hit the goal. However, 2 important things. 1, GoFundMe takes platform fees, folks. So that's money away from that goal. And 2, this is money for breathing and living and being able to handle bills in fucking Southern California. So that goes quick. So go ahead and assist there if you can. I would really appreciate it. Thank you kindly. And like I said, I'm a dirty liar, so I know it caught DK.
Can we get some DK is the best in chat, please?
Hell
Thank you.
yes,
DK is the best.
if not sooner.
Drop it in the chat right now. I want all of you to go to your chat input devices and type in D followed by the letter K and hit enter. That's how we know you love DK.
Thank you.
And we all support DK here.
Don't make me weep immediately before we gotta do stuff.
Hold the makeup down.
I went through this last week. I love it when it's not my turn.
See,
I understand
Sephi
on a
knows
cellular
how-
level where you were coming from
Exactly.
last week.
Sephi gets to realize with the rest of us, oh, this is fun. Now
I
we
mean, I
all
know
have
that torture is
feeling.
fun.
Ba-dum-bum. So, thank you all
It's
so
the
much.
very soft sips around the table for me at this moment.
Yeah.
So from
And
here,
the bite of the cookie.
Come
so let me set the table with a recap. Last week, you met the 5 main members of Hope, one of the 3 core squads of Salvation, a set of special forces, if you will, for the Limberry Army. And they were tasked by the leader of Salvation, one of the great warriors of the area, Melchior Tenjil, with going into Limberry lands and surveying them, checking, seeing if they could spot any activity that could be pinned to the Ordalian army, because we are in the midst of the 50 Years' War, where Ivalis, as a whole, is fighting the whole nation of Ordalia. Our heroes embarked out of Fort Bessalat and into Limberry territory, and they found along the way something they didn't expect. The undead. They made it to Dorvalder Marsh, where they encountered a pack of undead. As best they can tell, these were necromantically lifted. But they were not able to spend too much time investigating. They had to move on with their mission. And so in doing so, they marched forward on their path, led by their fearless leader, Remus Thedolphus. And as they marched, they encountered someone who some of you in chat may find familiar, who they may have heard of or what have you, but just as a soldier, Goffard Gaffgarian. And the exchange thus far has simply been Gaffgarian letting them know that there was something that happened with his troops and he needs some assistance. So our scene picks up as our team of Ascendant heroes engages this new person. And so, yes, it's as I said, Remus, my unit. We were marching over in this direction, and we believed everything was fine, everything was normal, but we were laid. Ordalian bastards, they were. Came into our territory. I'm guessing it was a guerrilla squad. They attacked us. We all tried to gain positioning, but there were too many. I tried to get my men out of there, but I got pincered off and I had to make my way out. I need your help, old friend. Remus, of course, Goffard, we're old mates, but further, we don't let soldiers die like that. You have to let me know, where did all of this take place? And what, do you think the soldiers were taken? Yes, I do believe that my guess is that they were held for ransom or something along those lines. I'm heading north towards Poescus Lake. I believe if we move in through a tributary, we may be able to catch them off guard or unawares. Maybe we can do something to that effect. Y'all can, if you wish to.
I do. I was
gonna say they're gonna keep going until someone asks.
I would like to just run myself like a quick knowledge here on the following. We're normally in armies, there are ways that people are supposed to conduct themselves in situations like this. Who's supposed to be looking for help? And also, something seems weird about the fact that a small group of soldiers was captured in the middle of a war, because who does that? And the vibes are off for me at this moment. So,
if you want to roll me intuition, please.
I would like to roll several. Child, let me get the whole bag of D10s because listen.
Pop off the top, just go for it.
Wait, what are we rolling here? Is that just like one D10 or?
D10 plus your intuition.
D10 plus intuition. All right, let me do a little.
I will not chat. No, Valor is a D10 system. You are exclusively rolling a D10 throughout.
That is a 15.
Gotcha. So I'm going to tell you now what your intuition says. Your intuition says the vibes are not perfectly accurate, but also you're not really sure how. So here's the thing. Goffard Gaffgarian is a troop commander, and y'all are in a special forces unit. You would be more attuned to, who is leading people, if nothing else. Not necessarily every rank and file person, but you would have heard his name. You'd know he's a commander. Beyond that, generally, you would expect what he would be doing is going to a nearby repository somewhere like Limberry Castle or what have you, and having to requisition assistance and go through that whole process. But there would be a case to be made that essentially there is this idea that someone could just go out of their way to try and save the troops. Like that's a thing that's happened before. He could just be trying to bypass that path, and maybe he doesn't want to. Essentially, having the requisition assistance is gonna draw eyes to you, not in a good way. And if you're someone who's trying to climb ranks, that's so you can balance that. Vibes aren't clear, but there are explanations to what he might be doing.
May I ask a question, Sir Gaffgarian?
Yes, of course, dear.
How many troops were in your unit?
Yes, we had six fine young men.
And of those troops, who were the nobles?
Let's see, there was, of course, at least 3 of them were definitely the children of nobility. Knights, indeed. Those were the Ferris brothers. All 3 of them. And then we had a few others who, like myself, were unfortunately born in less wonderful settings.
That's not why I ask. What do I know about the Ferris brothers? Can I roll intuition?
Absolutely.
I've heard that last name before in the game, right? Have I?
No, that's not anything from
Okay, cool.
FFT.
Cool. Oh, I'm thinking of Ferris from Final Fantasy
Yes.
5, right?
5, yep.
That is a 23.
Jesus H. Christ.
My intuition's high.
You've definitely heard the name, and there's the Ferris family in Limberry. That checks out. They've got several sons who would be in the military. That checks out. But you also
I'm also
know they're
from
not,
Limberry.
Yes. So
Sorry.
you may have run into them. They're absolutely in the military. That part of it is all clear. He picked 3 people who are definitely going to be in military.
And would be important enough to ransom?
Yes. No, definitely. They're nobles.
Well, that explains why they were taken alive instead of killed. Ferris brothers are of the Ferris family, which is noble indeed, and has enough resources that they could be taken advantage of or leveraged to surrender part of their territory and giving them a foothold in Limberry. That would make total sense.
If I may interject, is there something particular about this unit? Why such a small force?
We are a small force as well.
But it seems precisely we are sent out to do things that perhaps other people might not be able to do. I'm wondering if it just seems like quite a bit of trouble for a full-size force to attack
I agree.
such a small group.
I don't believe it was a completely full-size force, but to be fair, neither were we. We are a much larger platoon, but we had to split up for the recent attacks in Salgidos, and so, unfortunately, they caught me with my trousers down.
Is that entirely an appropriate way to put that?
Oh, bootscreakles! Are you going on and on about someone like Goffard Gaffgarian?
I expect a certain level of comportment, yes.
It's a Goffard Gaffgarian, by the way, Remus. Yes, of course it is. Goffard Gaffgarian!
I mean, one, it is kind of weird that a small group got kidnapped, like you said they did too. And he leans over to Zeros, like, is it just me or this Gafford guy has a really punchable face?
It's not just you.
No, you're right. You're right.
Well, it could be that this could be your catch-up point if you wish, but I have some questions first. So more out loud, I want to ask, I guess, I don't know what the proper honorific is for Gaffgarian.
It would just be
Sir
Sir.
Gaffgarian? Okay. Sir Gaffgarian, if you would not mind, one additional question. How was it that you managed to escape to get here? Perhaps we could take the path that you took to get here to find your troops.
That was exactly the plan. You seem to know your way about things. When I got away, I managed to run through forest and brush. I know the area particularly well, and these are Ordalians, so it's not like they're from around here. I made it through and followed a tributary to get away from the Poescus Lake, using the water to try and mask my footsteps. I was figuring we could take the same way back in.
Lake Poescus. History check here, I guess, or whatever that knowledge would be on what we know about like Lake Poescus. Specifically, does someone dress like, one, does he even look wet? But two, would someone in whatever regalia he's wearing, because I know he has to be wearing some, be able to successfully trek through Lake Poescus?
Okay, so what he's describing is like there was the lake proper, but then you have very small, almost creek-like rivers rolling into it that actually keep it full. Those would be the tributaries. So he's saying like one of those little creeks, he was running through that to get out of there using the water of the creek, which wouldn't be too deep to mask his footsteps. Just for clarity of what that actual story is.
Were you followed by anyone?
I don't believe so. I've been keeping eye back here. I've been away from them for a little over a day now, and I do think I've managed to break free of them. My guess is that my hope, let me rephrase, is that they did indeed keep these boys captive in hopes of using them as a bartering tool. If so, my guess is they know that with me this way, I'm getting the message to someone.
Right, so you would be allowed to escape so that someone would be informed.
You've got the
And
right
you've been away
advice.
And you've been away for a day, correct?
But little over a day, yes.
Then we need to get back to wherever they've made encampments. I assume that they've made a stop, at least.
It has to be somewhere nearby the area. They're in enemy territory. It's not like they can just refill at a local town or what have you, so I figure they need to have an encampment somewhere nearby. We can use the silent, stealthy tracking to find our enemy and save these people by surprise, however necessary.
Well, we were supposed to scout in search of Ordalian troops. If we can capture one of them, it might kill two birds with one stone, and they can tell us what the plan is. So if we can capture the commander...
Assuming, of course, they haven't spent the last day acquiring reinforcements of some kind after sending their messenger.
That's what we need to scout for, and the longer that we wait, the more likely those reinforcements will show up, correct?
Quite.
So we should find out as soon as possible.
Okay, well, then how we're gonna... Well, we can just go as one big group and draw a lot of attention towards us, or we can be sneaky about it. I suppose I'm not really a sneaky person. I'm gonna be real with you guys. It's the last thing that's on my mind. I could track down the trail, if anything, though. I'm not saying I can't do that.
Can you move closer to your mic?
There we go. I mean, it's not saying that I can't track down the trail. I'm pretty good at that, but it's the sneaky part I'm not good at.
Well, that is where hopefully I will be of assistance. But if you do get caught, make it interesting.
Interesting how, as in save you guys a trouble and beat up everyone, or...
I certainly wouldn't be opposed if you did that. It would save me a fair bit of labor.
Well,
Okay, you all heard this. Zehor, he said that I can beat up people as soon as I see them. So all of you can take this into account.
Virgil, I'm afraid that Zaris isn't our commander, first of all.
I'm also afraid that...
Boot skoogles!
And neither is he, though we won't say it out loud. You were saying something, Fallon.
Yes, Virgil, I'm sorry, but you keep giving into this idea that, you're just gonna take out every single person you see, and...
Yeah, I am.
If it was a force of 6, I wouldn't put it past him, but there may be more now. I suggest something a little bit more subtle, but not necessarily sneaking. If we can go to a nearby town and get some sort of disguise, a troop of our number could conceal themselves as just travelers. And therefore, if we're stopped by this force, we can assess them. If we're taken inside, we can attack from within. And assess it that way.
My only issue with that is they've seen my face.
You would not be able to come, sir.
Oh, thank God.
That's where you would have to ride in a wagon or disguise yourself even more thoroughly.
I feel it. Yes.
I have a question about my discreet aura.
Go on.
Would the benefits of that extend only to me or to someone I was with?
Uno momento. I got it right here. Off the top of my head. Okay, so here's the thing about it. Discreet aura would apply to someone who is trying to use enhanced or magical methods to look at you. I would guess that you could probably try to use it to mask people around you, but as it stands, it doesn't actually block, like, people just wholesale seeing you.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
But I would say, yeah, you could basically try and disperse an aura to mitigate, like call it a field of being able to not see through with spirit sight, for instance.
Okay.
So, Gaffgarian, did you happen to have an objection to my plan?
Well, I'm not exactly a fan of not being able to rescue my own men. But
Sadly, that may have to be the case if you want this to go off properly. You are a day out and they've sent messengers, so you have limited options.
yes, we have to do what we must. Alrighty, then let's make our way to Limberry. It's nearby enough as is. We can get you some simple travel's clothes and a wagon to bring with you, and you can use that to make it through the path.
My query at this point. Did you say Limberry?
Limberry Castle.
Is that where you are suggesting we get the costuming at this moment?
It would be the nearest town from here. There's no local within that, or having to trek back through the marsh to some local village or what have you on the other side. But the nearest place near here would be not necessarily the castle proper, but just in the nearby, the town.
The castle town.
It.
I see. Well then, I believe that warrants a question of... Actually, perhaps not. Onward to Limberry then, I suppose.
Okay. All right, and so from there, all righty then, boot squangles, let us make our march to the town. And Remus begins moving with Gaffgarian, and obviously all of you in tow, assuming no one argues.
Can we drop back a bit so I can kind of like talk to
Go ahead.
like my actual crew?
Sure.
Something the matter, Zeros?
Several things. I believe you picked up on them too, hence your line of questioning.
I was curious why... Let me put it this way. Noble soldiers are not of value to the enemy, just like they wouldn't be of value to us. To keep around, let's say.
I am almost certain they would not want to invite the possibility of reinforcements from this place in any case. I don't know that most people have troops to spare for that matter, hence why our units are as small as they are.
Well, Avalis is quite the territory to cover, even just the border with Regalia.
Does it concern anyone that we're going to Limberry Castle, the place that these notable nobles have gone missing?
Deeply.
Oh, incredibly.
How many nobles do we now have gone missing?
Well, at this moment, 3 of them per the tale of Gaffgarian here. However, him not going to this town for reinforcements tells me something very uncomfortable about how this situation has played out. I do not know the full nature of it, but...
That is curious. Why not just go to Limberry Castle and get a full force?
Mostly,
Something
I'm
doesn't add up
concerned.
with this.
I'm concerned that this might be a status issue. He has suggested that we go there for costumes, but not for reinforcements.
He is a commander, so they wouldn't. And with being from the Ferris family, they would presumably spare the people to go save them. But if he's not going, that does raise a question. Even his status, he is a commander, and he does have nobles that were taken from him. He may get
And he's been
reprimanded,
here.
but he would ask.
And he's been here for a full day to ask.
How far is Limbury Castle from the lake?
Probably about a day and some change. In other words, like
He could have gone there.
he could have gone there instead of the road between.
Did he look injured?
I would say he's looked. I'm going to say he looked haggard,
I was okay.
not necessarily like slashed across or anything like that, but you can tell he does look a little worn.
Yeah, I was
If you
gonna
want
ask, does
any
it
more
look
details
like
than that, though, I'm gonna make your roll for him.
Can I do a roll for this? Just like to give them like a size up of like, did he really look like he really went through everything that he went through?
Give me an aura roll for that.
Okay. Aura. What is my aura? Okay. That's a 13.
Gotcha. By the looks of him, you can definitely tell he's clearly been traveling for a little bit. His stuff is all messed up. It's askew. You're not, however, I will say this much. You would not be 100% confident whether it was he actually, I know what you're trying to get at, basically. You are not 100% confidently able to determine whether he actually went through all this or if he just kind of mussed around his armor and threw some dirt on him and shit. At a 13, you're like, it looks like it's supposed to, but I don't know if it looks like a little too if it's supposed to, if you catch my meaning on that.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Just his story, the way he looks, everything about this just seems way too convenient. Especially the fact that he did not take this chance to get a reinforcement. Like, I know I'm good, but I am not going to turn down reinforcements at all, or try to go and get some.
And we've
Something is
been in
not
bad
right here.
fights. We've been in bad fights, and you don't come out of one, especially an ambush, and
Exactly.
run for your life for a day and look a little tired.
Yeah.
May I make a suggestion?
Go ahead.
Please.
What if, when we're getting these so-called disguises, we send one of us to the castle? I could go personally. I have contacts at Limbury Castle, presumably, right?
Oh, absolutely. All of you would. And you also, you know, you've grown up in Limbury, you've got connection, you would know someone for sure. And all of you, again, you're part of Hope. Whether or not like the average rank or file person knows you all one by one, they know that Salvation is an important group. So if you approach anyone in the military, you're part of Hope. They know what the hell is going on in Limbury. You've got connection.
If one of us can slip away, I'll volunteer, and the others can cover for them. We can presumably have the ear of someone who would maybe be able to send people behind us, in case. But we need to keep one thing in mind. This is a trap, and judging by his demeanor, going to Limbury Castle was not in his plan. We may get ambushed. Could also be that this is perfectly as it seems, and we're actually on a rescue mission, so also keep that in mind.
I would say we should keep our wits about us either way and see what happens. At the very least, if things do get dicey, I can just contain him a bit. Maybe.
Be cautious. No one becomes commander in this army without having some skill. Especially if they aren't noble-born.
Noted. However...
Remember, Melchior is different than the rest of the army. He's a commander, and he's not a knight, he is not a noble, from his own words. That means he has power. And skill.
And from the looks of it, a fair bit of cunning.
I'm getting more and more unsettled by the minute the more we talk.
All right, well, I say we just get to this castle, we do this plan, and try to catch this guy in a lie, because obviously he's trying to withhold something from us.
On a happier note, costumes are enjoyable. I should look forward to having one.
I agree. Change of clothes would be nice.
They will also be useful since we are to be scouting the area, and one of the covers is that we are not soldiers. No?
Yeah.
So then what's our cover story going to be?
Group of travelers. Heading, or maybe even escaping toward Dahlia.
Traveling circus, maybe?
We certainly are.
An odd bunch.
But the simpler the better. The simpler, the easier to remember, the more convincing it will be.
Got it. Easy to remember, simple. We're traveling to get away from something.
Also, Virgil,
Yeah.
you will particularly need some heavy costuming to cover up the fact that you have a lot of training. For someone like me, it's not going to be a difficult thing to do, but for you...
You know what? I'm going to take that as you recognizing how amazing I am. You're absolutely right. I'm going to need to work extra hard to cover up all of this.
Very well.
And so, our intrepid heroes make it to Limberry. And in Limberry, you see the normal trappings of a castle town, hustle and bustle, people moving around. There's a war going on, but this is a castle city. No one's worried. They know that this is the last place to be attacked and besieged. Even if it is at the border, this is where a number of army units are stationed regularly. Everyone here is safe. So, the city continues on. So as you walk through, you could go to the merchant district, anything along those lines, to find some just various clothes, tailors, whatever, and do as you will. And if you wish to enact any other plans, obviously, you can make your path.
I would like to sneak away.
Okay. You're just trying to, like, sneak through it all and just head to the castle?
I'm trying to sneak away from the group in a way that I won't be missed, but I'm not going to hide within the town, at least.
Right. I'm not even going to make you roll for that. That's just going to be a matter of somewhere they go around a turn and boom, you all are getting clothes as it is, so a good idea would be, like, essentially as you're coming into the town, Gaffgarian's like, all right, well, it's not exactly like I and some of these lasses get our clothing at the same place, so let's, I think the best idea here will be so that I can map out where we can continue from here. Go get your clothing, do what you have to. Meet me back at outside of this pub whenever you've got it, and when the unit's all assembled, I'll show you on a map the best path forward.
Watch that. And I don't know, Commander. I think you can easily pull off a good dress if you find the good material for it. You got nice legs.
I appreciate you, Sully. You're a good boy.
And I head off to find me some clothes.
So one thing I want to be clear about, unlike most of the nobles, I have not told anyone in the party that I am noble.
Right.
not know.
I'm aware, but
Yeah.
the party, the in-character party, is not aware of such things.
And the voice isn't enough because everyone knows that I came from the Academy of Magic,
Right.
the academy that's in Galleon, which is a place within Limbury, correct?
No, Galleon is to the west, but it's not a big deal. In other words, we're not in a post 50 Years War situation where Ivalis is at war with itself. Right now, the war with Ordali is the big thing, so...
Oh, wait,
there's
no, I
real
forgot.
tensions or anything.
I am from Limbury, though.
You're
I forgot.
originally
Like, yeah.
from Limbury,
Yeah.
but the thing is, the Magic Academy itself is in Garland, or
Galleon.
in Garland, which is in Galleon. But it wouldn't be weird for you to go to the Magic Academy there. It's the Magic Academy.
Yeah. Mhm. All right, so I am going to very quickly duck into an inn and toss them a gold piece to clean myself up as much as possible before I go. Just quickly, like, take some ablutions, just like, "Ah!" And then I'm going to head straight for the castle.
Absolutely. So as you approach the castle, you'll just see your standard affair of guards at the front that'll be standing, waiting for anyone who's coming up. But as you come closer, in general, the actual Limbury Castle, the guards at the front gate, and realistically, any of the officers are going to know you. They're all attuned to who Salvation is. They would have been told of who you are. And then once you're inside the castle, you're walking around the castle. They're not randomly interrogating you. So you can make your way in and just kind of find whoever it is you're trying to look for.
Who would I be looking for in particular? Who would I think is available?
So if you're trying to look into like requisitioning backup troops or anything like that,
I'm also trying to get a feel for Gaffgarian
gotcha.
as well.
So you can go with like the regiment steward here, Old Man Laufrey. He's a guy who's been around, but he's kind-hearted. Everyone knows him, but he knows the regiment order. He helps get out the dispatch orders, connect everyone, and he pretty much knows everyone here like the back of his hand because he has everyone's marker sheets, records, everything that's ever been put down about anyone.
I'll go to him then.
So when you show up, you'll see an older man who has a sword at his hip, but it almost feels ornamental at this point. This is a much older gentleman who probably could better use a cane. With his glasses, looking through all his paperwork, slowly shuffling. You'll walk into what you know to be his quarters, and he'll... if it isn't the young Feldspar. How are you doing, my dear?
Hello, sir.
Shouldn't you be on mission right now?
I currently am. I know my appearance here is odd, but I have reasons to be here. I needed some information.
Oh, yes, absolutely, my dear. Part of salvation, I'm sure it's important.
I need to inquire, one, about Sir Gaffgarian's troops.
Let's see, hold on, here. Hold on. You see him start rifling through. He's got piles everywhere. Here's the dispatches. Let's see. Let's see here. Gaffgarian. Looks like he left the castle some 3 weeks ago, heading to border skirmishes out with the enemies in Salgidos territory.
That tracks.
And he's got some 20 troops with him, that he left with, I should say.
Was he the only commander of this force?
Yes, he was the warrior in charge. Though it was a requisitioning force, so it's one of those things where once they're there, they may have joined up with another unit. They may have gone and you know how these things go.
I do. Were the young Ferris brothers in that group?
Let me see here. They were indeed with this unit.
May I ask how it is that a man of Gaffgarian status became a commander in the General Army? I know that my troop is different, but normally it's very difficult to attain that position if you aren't born noble.
Well, it absolutely is. Gaffgarian has been around for quite some time, you see. He's a good sword. He's not necessarily the most clean cut of men, shall we say. You know, he's willing to do some rather unusual things, but generally in wartime efforts, many people do tend to turn their blind eyes to it because, of course, why wouldn't they? We need to do what we need to do to defeat the army, but...
Well, what sort of dirty tricks has he resorted to in the past?
Well, generally speaking, when it comes to wartime, few have the stomach to do such a thing as, you know, beheading an officer when captured and not giving the chance for any sort of return back. But Gaffgarian, there's always a, shall we say, accident on the battlefield. But it's one less troop and potentially one less commander on the enemy side. And, well, it helps for the higher-ups to have someone who is not quite a noble who can operate outside of the usual rules of war, if you catch my drift, my dear.
How often has he done that?
Honestly, I could not tell you. I'd love to be able to, but we don't even necessarily know all the number ourselves. You don't get to be called the Fell Blade without felling much with your blade. But I joke.
I mustn't... please, are you alright, sir?
Yes, you know, a bit of the old age catching up with me. One of these days I'll retire, but then this army will come to a grinding halt.
Quite true. Sir Gaffgarian found us on the road. It seems that his 6 remaining troops were captured by Ordalian soldiers not too far from here.
Yeah, that's unpleasant.
But he came to us to ask our aid, and we're currently in Limbury purchasing disguises so that we can maybe get a feel for how large the force is.
Yeah.
But he has not requested troops from you.
No, he has not.
If he were to, would you give them?
No, of course. When it comes to potentially rescuing soldiers, it's always worth it. Think about it. If we're doing a surprise attack, hypothetically, let's just say mathematically, they have 3 people who they've kept as hostage. Let's just say in the surprise attack, 2 of our troops managed to fall. We've defeated some enemies. We are still at a net +1. You know, the math of it all. It would yes, I would requisition them. My only guess is, you know, if you have a reputation for being a bit sloppy about your work, you don't also want to have a reputation for being sloppy about human lives.
I think that not getting requisition troops makes the latter more true than not. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, it could be. I try to, you know, I don't want to assume anything. My only guess is he looked for a greater unit to assist him rather than the average sword hand that you could find around here, maybe?
I think he was looking for anyone that was on the road. Sir, could I ask that... Let's say... What time is it?
It's going to be midday at this particular point.
Can't take us more than 2 hours to get clothing. 3 hours hence. Would you send a troop after us?
Okay.
The lake area.
Absolutely. We're considering what? Strikers, something like just a small gathering force to be able to make sure things go well.
No more than 10 troops should be sufficient.
I don't know that I could do a whole 10, keeping my
No
numbers.
more than 10, anything you can spare.
Absolutely. I could probably spare 6 or 7 men. Send them your way, should be fine.
Yes. I will make sure that they are able to follow us.
Alrighty, thank you. That makes things much easier, you know. I'll have them... Do you know which way you're headed?
Towards the lake.
Poeskis. Indeed. Let me make my notations here. All right. So then they'll head towards Lake Poeskis, but they'll look for any sort of symbology or what have you that you're leaving, and that should make it quite easy.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
Listen. Feldspar. For anyone in your family, of course.
Thank you. I deeply appreciate that. And I will not take more of your time. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You know, this paperwork never ends. I'll be here till I'm 300, I think.
With your constitution, you should survive as long.
I appreciate you, hon. And with that, he just goes back to his
I will take
paperwork.
my leave.
Yeah. So I'm assuming at this point you go down in town. Does anyone else have anything sidewise they want to do before getting costumes or anything like that?
No.
All right. So you all gather your costumes, gather them up. You go meet at the same point as before, and you see Gaffgarian already has a map. Just a local Limberry area map, and you see that he's drawn out, if you could see right here. Here was the main point of Poescus. We came from that angle, coming back from Salgidos. I'm guessing based on the lay of the land, we were struck right around here. And this would be my escape route, and then I came and met you all down here. So if you can make it up through this tributary area, you should be fine getting in without being seen.
How far from the border is that?
Are you asking in character or out of character?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we were on our way back from Salgidos, I believe, half a day's march for a group. Could obviously go faster solo on Chocobo, but, you know, we were just heading back from our requisitioning.
Will you be accompanying us?
Well, I believe the plan, as brought on by the lass, was for me not to make it. Though I'll be honest, I was thinking about following slightly behind, maybe some distance, just in case to where I could help. But if you would prefer,
We've managed to procure a
stay.
wagon. We've managed to procure a wagon. You could presumably hide in the back, in a box, when we find the soldiers.
That could be a good surprise element. I'd be fine with that.
Yes, I believe that would be the best course of action, rather than you following up behind us. After all, you don't want to walk in on a battle that you are not aware of.
Absolutely, young. And this way I can support you as necessary.
Mm-hmm. And
Rudy-
as an aside to the others, I'll be like, don't let him be behind us.
We could probably square you away a nice big old box that you can easily just pop right out of and give a nice little surprise to whatever guys are going to attack us.
Absolutely.
But the point is this, sir. You don't have to worry about that. You got us. You can be safe and secure the entire time in the back of the carriage.
Absolutely, Gaffgarian. Listen, if there's one thing I know, they may just be booch-bongles, but they're my booch-bongles, and they always come through in the end of things.
The best boots bongles.
Sir Remus?
Yes, dear.
I can see the clothes you procured. I don't think purple brocade was part of the equation.
And you see, by the way, Remus really is in just the most fucking garish outfit you get. He's got a purple doublet. He's got yellow pants. He's got green gloves and shoes for some reason. And he has like a diamond brooch right here. And his pants are absolutely what I would consider like just like parachute pants to a degree. Okay, and this one, I believe the whole point was to look like non-soldiers, so I decided to look like, you know, a dandy good man, as they say.
You still look noble, and that's part of the issue.
My nobility
Lance, did you get a
shines
second pair of
through
clothes for
always.
him?
Lance is just behind him with a robe, like.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Commander, in all, and I say this with all due respect, Commander, you look like I would beat you up for money.
Well, that
You look like
sounds-
Amino designed you, actually, but sure.
Well, you know, this could serve our
Not the
purposes
fucking
if it
fourth
looked
wall
like
break.
this, so we could just look like, you know, like we're guarding him, perhaps.
Well,
I
the
clearly don't need
instructions.
to be guarded.
Well, sir,
Obviously don't.
I may respectfully say, while you do not look like you need to be guarded, you certainly look like when you go clothes shopping, you need a chaperone.
You
Also-
come from money, sir.
Ah, yes, it's because I'm so very clearly a man of means. I understand then. And with that, at this point, Lance is like shoving the robe down. He's not even
Good job.
talking. He's just shoving it. What is this assault on my character? But ultimately, he ends up in just a plain brown robe with no real any sort of stuff to it. Look at this. I look like a habble-scobble.
That's kind of the point. So,
Try not to draw attention to you,
The
sir.
things we do for people's lives. Unbelievable.
Very
Sounds
brave of you,
noble,
sir.
sir. That was under her breath.
Let us begin our work, boot scronkles, and listen, Goffgarian. We will return with your men in tow. Don't you worry about that when you're hiding in your little boxity. I just said it again. Gaffgarian's like, it's still Gaffgarian, but yes, I appreciate you, Remus. You've always been there. And at this point,
yes, it does seem he always is.
you all gather up. You've got a wagon. You gather some type of box that you can use, and Gaffgarian kind of hides out in there, and you begin to make your way. I'm assuming, like, you're just making your way north from Limberry. We're gonna go ahead and do this. Make your way north from here, heading up to Lake Powescus. And as you travel, eventually you do hit the edge of the woods that surround it. The map all follows exactly as you do. You go about as far as you expect to. You run into a small sort of creek tributary that you see flows eventually fall to the northwest, because you would be at the southeast of the lake at this point. And as you continue walking, I know, let me just take a moment. Feldspar, how are you planning on marking the path behind you? Let me just ask.
So, as I'm in the back, leaning at the back.
And just to clarify, Gaffgarian is in a box that's like, it might have very thin slits between boards for the purpose of air, but like he's not going to have any real view of what's going on. He's going to be purely listening.
So as we're going, I have a pouch at the side of my hip that is about yay big by yay big. And every so often I'll just give it a pat and a little head will pop out with long blue white ears that are tufted and red eyes and a small red gem in its forehead. And it will just cough up a like shining wisp that will go along the side of the trail and like hide in the brush, but it will come out when it sees the soldiers.
I got you.
And then disappear back into my bag.
So Sephi Feldspar is leaving her carbuncle map markers along the way. So you all travel, heading towards Lake Powescus, and eventually you hit a point where the tributaries actually start meeting. Like, it's a small creek, and then a few other small creeks start connecting to this one. They get a little bit wider. Nothing that you can't traverse, but you can tell you're getting closer to Lake Powescus itself. And as you get closer to the lake, you start... I'm going to ask all of you to give me an aura roll.
Oh.
Shit.
That's
Okay.
That is a 15 for me.
That is Aura?
Aura.
14.
13.
That's just a 4 for me.
Fallon, you've
I-
heard of Aura.
I just realized I think I rolled a d20 the first roll, that's why I was so high.
It's fine.
Sorry.
Salacia?
15.
Gotcha. So, Salacia and Virgil, Feldspar, I'll go this. Fallon, you're walking.
Just walking.
Everything's fine. Everything's good. Zeros and Feldspar, you get a little mashunga in the back of your neck. You can't pinpoint it down, but you do get a little tingle in the back of your neck. That's basically just it. Salacia and Virgil, you start getting a bad feeling, and I will say it feels familiar.
I immediately reach out and just sort of lightly tap Virgil on the arm and look at him. Do you feel these vibes?
Yeah, I'm feeling it too. Something isn't right. Something feels like, I don't know, it feels like we encountered this before. But
I'm thinking
something doesn't feel right.
I'm thinking about the math of things, and if it's only half a day to the border, and he's been gone for a day, odds are we should expect reinforcements already waiting for us, if they did in fact get reinforcements.
Yeah, pretty much. Just be on guard at this point, because something is not right here. Now, is there a way that I could push out, like, my aura to really lock in on what's causing this?
I am going to say, not your aura. In other words, I'm going to say no to that specifically because in this case, I just tested your aura and it didn't go there. What I will let you do, go ahead and give me a resolve roll. In this case, you know something's wrong. I'm going to see if you can just force of will that sucker into giving you the answer you want.
Oh, that's 12.
Okay, what specifically are you asking here?
Just exactly, if I can pinpoint exactly why this aura seems familiar to me.
If you had to guess, it would be, I'll tell you, it's something that you've encountered recently that wasn't with you before you came into the lake.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but something about this is just not right. Just be on guard for now.
We should probably tell the others.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Can I do, well, you know something, we're probably gonna have to change this the moment that this starts or whatever, but I am just going to start slowly making my way toward like the center of our group formation. So if everybody is kind of walking in a path, I'm going to try to be as close to the middle of everyone as possible.
Okay. So you do that, and you keep moving along, all of you, and suddenly, as you're walking, all of you, even Fallon, who previously was just fucking walking, really start feeling something in the air. Something of a presence. Salacia and Virgil, you're the first to feel. This feels like Dorvalder Marsh all over again.
When the feelings start picking up, I look at Salacia and go, Salacia, that ability you used to see the spirits in the woods prior, do you think you could do that right now?
I think that would be apt. Salacia closes her eyes for a minute, takes a long, deep, unhurried breath, and when she reopens them, there is just the faintest flash, sort of like when you catch an animal's eyes with a light in the dark and you just get pupil and then it dashes away. I would like to activate my spirit sight and see what I see.
As you activate your spirit sight, you see the same sort of purplish bits of energy and such all flowing around all of you. However, you see it is absolutely more noticeable here than when you saw it at Dorval. It's basically omnipresent, not necessarily over every inch of ground, but you see it's just all around. It's not going anywhere. And at this point, I'm going to call for everybody on the screen to go ahead and do me a favor and roll for dexterity.
Ooh.
Dexterity. Let's go.
Okay.
Nice.
This better not be an attack.
12.
10 for me.
14 for me.
Also a 10 for me.
What was yours, DK?
11.
Okay. And what was yours again, Wally? 14?
14, yes.
Okay. So all of you feel what's coming. And much the same as what happened to Remus in the marsh, bony hands reach up from the ground and grab the feet of almost everyone. Virgil jumps to get away and like jumps and lands on the cart. But it grabs everyone by the feet, and another set reach up to grab all by the wrists. So you can fight against them, but right now you're being held in place.
Oh no.
And that's when you hear from a distance, one of you is a bit more precocious than expected. And you see a hooded figure pop out from around the corner. He's wearing a gray and black robe, hooded robe, that kind of like goes down into a debard, but under the debard you can see he's got on black, thick gloves, and he's got on light, like leather armor, not necessarily the armor of a knight. And his robe is obscuring what should be his face, but as he steps, you can see wisps of light breaking in moments. And what you see there is not a human face, but you're not perfectly sure of what you see. As he keeps walking. So, bit energetic, this bunch. Wasn't
I
quite.
don't think the Defender March was accidental anymore.
No, the footsteps that I saw, it's not just footsteps, it's everywhere. It's everywhere here.
Oh no.
Oh, so you're the ones. This will make my research far more interesting. And you see he kind of leans back a tad, and now the moonlight catches. And you see he is wearing a skull mask. It has no bottom jaw, however. That has clearly been broken off. It's the same as the skeletons you encountered in Dorvalder Marsh, with no horns, however. But you see the top half of the skull and the top half of the mouth jutting out from the moon.
How terribly cliche for a necromancer.
Just because it's cliche doesn't mean it doesn't work, dear.
All right, well, whatever you are, you better line up right now, and it's because I'm about to give you the ass whooping of your lifetime, pal.
Oh, I don't believe you are. And with that, I'm going to ask you to roll. I'm going to ask you to roll Aura? Aura, yes. I know things. I'm going to ask you to roll Aura. An attack is getting thrown your way.
Okay.
Also, I forgot, for the purpose of this, Wally, you gain a point of Valor.
Cool.
For that.
Nice.
Nice. Get my Valor. All
Let's
right,
go.
so I got to roll Aura to defend. Got it.
Yes.
That is a 11.
Okay. Just barely. So you get hit. You see this dude throw his hand out and drop like this, and you feel like a presence just knock you to the ground. You're not held by the bones or anything. It's not like he had them grab you, but you're knocked to the ground and you feel like your vertigo is just knocked off. Like you essentially the same as the shaken condition. You just got knocked out of sorts real quick. It's going to take you a second to be able to properly get up and do anything.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be honest. You caught me off guard there. Gonna give you that one.
Yeah. Hopefully the rest of you prove to be a bit more enjoyable. Are you going to get your pay yet? And that's when you see the box top get lifted off. Gaffgarian stands up. I was wondering how long we'd take to get here. And he
How
jumps
did
out
we know?
and walks towards the man. Yes, dear, trust me, I wondered if you all would find just a way to argue about bringing me in for a court-martial. That's why my information comes smart.
So 2 questions. These are to the DM questions.
Yes.
One, how close are they together? Within like a square or 2, would you say?
He hasn't quite made it there yet. He's walking towards him, but he's clearly walking up to him at this point. But if you're trying to pull some stunts.
I obviously am. I just need them to be close enough together to do that. That's thing number 1. Thing number 2 is in character. So, do any of you have some kind of specialty that would possibly get us out of this situation? I'm thinking I might try to contain these 2 for a moment, if I can.
I can get my hands loose. I can unleash hell.
And I can make it real dark for both of them.
I don't believe the one with the mask is going to have any difficulty with that.
You're going to have a hard time breaking free of those bones, let me tell you. And you see Gaffgarian walking up to him. I will let you attempt something, but so the first thing that's first here, I'm going to make you roll resolve. Basically, you would have to literally overpower these arms to do something right now.
Oh, this is never going to happen for me. Okay.
Wait, what's your resolve based on?
Resolve is guts. Resolve is the associated stat for guts.
12? No?
No. You're fighting them, but they're not breaking. I will give you this. You can feel like you're lifting. These things aren't just like, it's not like you're pulling and they're perfectly stationary and your energy's going nowhere. They're maneuvering with you, but you don't have enough give to actually do anything at the moment.
Okay, so for I guess that's a question. I don't know if you can do like attacks like that. So I think here's a question. Could I do an AoE attack right now?
What'd you roll for resolve?
I have not rolled resolve yet. Do I need to do
roll? I'm saying, roll me with resolve. Right now, these things have your wrists and they have you constrained. And more notably, you can tell there's some type of energy at play here. It's not just the constriction. They're gonna stop you from throwing anything out.
Can anyone do anything
like
that doesn't involve hands or feet, like breathing fire?
I mean, I can. It's just that I'm dizzy right now.
Actually, since my hands are gripped and these, here, I'm going to ask you a question. And I think you know what question I'm going to ask you, as these are bones and these are necromancers. Do they follow the rules of the undead, as it were?
You could attempt to heal. I'll tell you now, the energy at play here, it would be like trying to smack a dragon with a stick. It's going to take a while before you're going to do enough to it that you're going to actually break it.
Yeah.
I will say this, since you're investigating, I will say this, and this is going to be a feel thing. Sin, go ahead and hit me with intuition.
I was going to say, can I do like one of these, favorable insight things?
I'm not even going to say favorable insight. Just hit me intuition. I'm literally going to go with your intuition, your feel of the moment.
Whew, hot damn. Okay, so I rolled max on that one. That is a 17 for you.
There you go. So you can tell this is a spell that is continually channeled. By definition, you can tell a source holder does not have infinite magical wells. Like, if it's a curse, that's different, but it's not like you all happened to walk into individually placed cursed marks. So you're fighting against it right now and it's resisting you, but you can tell, like, if you keep resisting it, it's gonna break. It's just, it has not broken on you yet.
I see. Do I know what would be the best thing to do in this situation?
Continue to put your physical and like spiritual and magical energy into fighting against it. Not necessarily whether or not you display it's up to you. Dude's watching you. He clearly is. I don't know whether he's going to be affected by it, but that's your best approach, is literally just continuing to fight it, at least as far as you're aware. You wouldn't know of any like quick fix a removal.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is just going to be like a set of resolve rolls.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and call for it as we go, so you get more and more chances. And what I'm going to say is, like, I will let you all know as the way of rolling it. Essentially, here's the DC that I'm thinking of at start, and every time we call for it, it's going to be lower and lower to finally break out of this. But it's going to be, a time-passing thing. You had a question, TK?
Yeah, I have a question and a half. The first question is there any other way out of this tributary than going directly forward?
I mean, if you got free of your hands, it's the best way I can explain it is you have a lake and then you have different little creeks and stuff going at it. But like, you don't have to follow the path of the creek. You could run directly into the woods. You could run directly, whatever. Like, that's just the path you were taking because it obscures footsteps and generally sound of footsteps and what have you, if you're in like the really light areas where you're mushing into low water.
In that case, I would like to roll resolve because I'd like to try something.
Okay, hit me.
Power move.
Oh, I rolled max. So that's 14?
Okay. You haven't broken out yet, but Fallon, if you want to roll for the fun of it.
I would love to roll for the fun of it.
Virgil, you're obviously not restricted, but you're still coming to your base.
Yeah.
So I'll
This
let you know
is
when
resolve?
you're free of that. Yes. So D10
It's
plus your
force
resolve.
12.
Okay. Yeah, so you're all still restrained, but I will give you a call in just a moment to be able to try and continue. So at this point, you see Gaffgarian walk up, and he holds out his hand and says, I made sure to get you strong ones. That was the agreement, yes? And Ganatolos pulls out some type of like... It looks almost like a parchment, but you can see like there's something going on. It has a very, very soft glow to it. And he puts it in Gaffgarian's hand. And Gaffgarian sees it and crumples it. And you see him do this, and you see a dark aura begin glowing around his hand and begin to envelop his body for a moment. Energy forming, and then it seems to recede into him.
Out of game, I know what this is, but can I roll, like, intuition since I'm a spellcaster to see what just happened?
Hit me.
Okay. Not the best. That is a 10.
Okay. You know there's some sort of transference of power situation. That is the full extent of your knowledge at this point.
Can I also do an intuition because I'm
Hit me.
sitting here watching this and I clearly don't have anywhere else to go.
Hit me.
That is again a max intuition roll.
Okay, which is
What do I get on the
you said?
17?
Okay, you can tell that very specifically that was there are old world magics. Things like, for instance, you know of the legendary zodiac stones that the Braves used, and things like that. There are more than just those. However, more relics and things of the old. The legendary armor of the hero King Mesa of Lazalia. That's a well-known relic that it was said to have magic innate powers. There were supposedly some things known as contracts. They were simply called contracts because they were of different varieties. And when given to someone and they absorbed them, it would give them some type of powers. You've heard legends of fire-based powers, of lightning-based powers. You would not necessarily know the exact specific nature, but you know that in getting that, Gaffgarian acquired some type of power in this moment. I'm going to ask...
Like,
hit me.
I'm just going to... I see... hold on. Thank goodness. Okay. I see, like, Felspar kind of, like, looking at the scene like I do and just go... This is an old magic.
Certainly not new. That thing just gave him power. It was not the kind that we normally like to see.
I'm going to ask you all to hit me with a resolve roll again.
My role here apparently is to observe. So,
That sure was a number.
it sure was a number.
That's a 12 for me.
It's a 5.
A
Rolled a
9.
literal 1.
DK.
13.
Not quite yet. You're all continuing to fight. You feel that it's weakening some. However, in that moment, to the side, because remember, there were 7 of you in this group outside of Gaffgarian, you see the spry old figure of Remus the Dolphus jump. The gloves that were on his hands and the boots that were on his feet, he legit jumps out of them. The skeleton still holding the gloves and the boots. The arms, I should say, the skeletal arms still holding the hands and the boots, and he goes, "Ha ha! It will take more than that to take care of one such as Remus the Dolphus. But that said, Boots Jungles, don't worry. I'll return with the help you need. Lord knows they won't kill important people." And you see him dash off towards the side. And in that moment, you hear, "Well, this is as good an excuse as any." And you see Gaffgarian unsheath his blade and lift it up. And as you see Remus running, it all starts to go as if in slow motion, in a way that no one can stop.
Can I try? I have carbuncle.
A dark energy forms behind him in the shape of a blade. And Gaffgarian brings his sword down, and it impales directly through the center of Remus the Dolphus, who... What is... And Gaffgarian calmly walks up to him and says, "Remus, old boy," and pats him on the back. "The old nobility like you believe that war works differently than it is. But unfortunately, you and I both know that you were just trying to save your skin. Thank you for the test." And you hear Remus, "But I thought..." And Remus the Dolphus dies in place. And having seen your oftentimes annoying, very rough around the edges, unable to figure out how words work, but ultimately believing in you, Commander, fallen, I'm going to ask everyone here to make a resolve roll.
Yep, that is a 16 on resolve.
Nice. Okay, 10 plus
15.
14.
That is a 14 for me.
What are you at, Lexi?
14.
So 14 minimum across the board.
Yeah.
And with that, all of you, enraged by what you've seen, as you see Gaffgarian just traipsing off into the woods by himself, begin to pull and lift your arms and begin to step forward. Virgil, you just get up. You're fully in your senses now. You are fully on top of yourself.
I do not I instantly stand up and I would like to do something.
Before you go, I'm just going to finish describing. Everyone begins moving and they can feel as one, because this same spell was holding all of you. You pull and each of the skeletal arms grabbing you shatters in view. And you are all freed from your constraints. And before you do something, we'll say Anatolos goes, "Oh, things are going to get very interesting then." You said you want to do something, Virgil? I'll let you go first.
I point my finger at Gaffy, that fucking asshole, and I point a finger like this at him. And I yell, "You fucking boot-licking boot squangle," as I do Aurabolt. As I fire, as the tip of my finger starts to glow brightly.
Before you fire it, if you want to yell at him, sure. But at this point, I will tell you, he has gotten far enough away from you. It's not.
I'm just going to fire it in just blind
just
rage.
for the pert of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you fire. So essentially, an orb of energy forms and launches, and you see it rip through the air, and almost poetically, you see that the energy continues until the blade of pure darkness that was still holding up the body of Remus, and it intercepts with it, and the blade shatters, and Remus falls to the ground.
Oh,
and at this point, Anatolos just says, "You know, I think I need to play with you a bit more."
While he's in, because, if he's at the end of that sentence and isn't about to start another one, can I, I'm assuming he's by himself at this moment, may I erect a dome?
You are far enough away that you would not be in range to the dome, so you would have to.
How many spaces or feet are both of them away from us?
If you were on a map at this point, Anatolos would be basically 7-ish spaces away from you.
And Gaffgarian?
Gaffgarian at this point, he basically booked it. Once he did the stabbing, he saw y'all were frozen for a moment. He started moving, and once y'all shattered, he got out of there. He is gone at this point, gone to the wind. That said, the man before you goes, "I know exactly how we'll play." And you see him snap. He begins to rise in the air with a dark aura around his feet and floats backwards further. And then you see him swing his arms wide and then begin to pull them this way. And all of a sudden, the ground beneath you rumbles and shakes. And as it so does, you see bones. Bones individually rising from the ground. And they begin swirling around in the air before you. And it swirls faster and faster as the tornado of bone begins having individual pieces form at the center. And you see it build from the ground up a gnarled clawed foot, another gnarled clawed foot, going into 2 legs, rising up into a giant round body with a tail extending from the back, a neck coming forth, a second neck, a third neck moving forward. And as you all see this, if you will all bring up your adventuring kit, you will see Lake Poescus has been added. And if you bring up the map, we're going to see Sword for Sin, Folks, I will tell you now, I will have custom sprites probably by next week. They're going to coincide with some of the art we're getting. So for now, you just have to bear with seeing these as your tokens for everything. But before you all, if you see on the middle of the battlefield, the Bone Hydra forms before you.
Should they be able to see this on the stream?
Yeah, I'm just setting the battlefield pieces real quick before we go. Okay. And with that, we go into combat. The sword represents Zeros, the spear represents Virgil, the tome represents Feldspar, the fireball represents Salacia, and the crossbow
Where's Lance?
represents Fallon. Lance is still back here, but you see he's run to, or he's off the side. He has run to the body of Remus. You see the color is drained from his face. He's like,
Pull yourself together.
He's trying to to administer some type of first aid. And yeah. So I'm gonna need all of you to roll initiative for me.
Wouldn't let us kill the motherfucker.
That is a 9 for me.
So initiative is just Dex, right?
Dex plus a D10 roll.
Dex.
A lot of things
plus
happened over here, ignore that.
roll. 10.
I can't see my roll.
Oh, plus 2. So 12 total.
11 for me.
I have a 6.
But you're not 1, you're a 10.
Hey.
11 for Feldspar, 6 for Zeros. What was Fallon and Salacia again?
12. Quick to act.
And
Plus
then
2 to initiative.
Salacia, what'd you got?
Vibing with an 8.
All right, perfect.
Let's go.
So I'll let y'all know, just like in the game where you were allowed to know the initiatives of things. It's going to go Fallon, Feldspar, Virgil, Salacia, Zeros, and then the Hydra at the end of it. So, Fallon, you move first.
I'm zooming in. Well, I think the first thing that I should do is probably move. I'm going to move. I think I can move 4 squares. Is that it? I think that's what it is. Our movement speed is determined by.
What is
let me
your
see.
dexterity stat?
Move is 3. Okay, dexterity
Okay.
stat is 5.
So your move is actually 4 for you.
Okay.
1 to
great,
4,
great,
it's a
great.
3. 5 to 8, it's 4.
Perfect.
And if you have a
okay.
9 or a 10, it's 5.
So it's 3 technically. So
Yes.
1, 2, 3. I'm gonna move here, and then I'm gonna use a quick shot to just go ahead and shoot at this thing with a ranged attack.
Go ahead and roll which stat is that attack? Is it strength?
So
Is
damage core is strength. Yes.
it... Okay, so just roll strength. Or excuse me, roll muscle plus D10.
Great. So 6.
I will just for
10
transparency-
is 16.
Nice. Let's see. We got 13. You hit. What's your damage?
Nice. Great. Okay, so I have 2 strength into this, so it's 15 plus 10 plus
25.
my attack.
Yes, plus your strength attack.
25 plus my attack is 6. Is it like on the attack thing? Is strength is 6?
Okay, so what is your actual base strength?
9.
Okay, so your strength attack is actually 24.
That's really funny. Okay, great.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
one of the
yeah.
adjustments we need to make.
So 24 plus
25, so
is
49.
59. 49. Yeah, sorry,
Yes.
49.
So that's
Adding
22.
10.
All right. And with that, you see, is this a shot?
Yes, this is a shot. Yeah.
Okay, so you see the bullet smack the left side head of the bone hydra, who simply somehow, despite having no trachea, it makes noise. But this thing is clearly a big motherfucker.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any support actions or anything you want to do this turn?
I don't think. What defines a zone of control?
Zone of control is you and every space adjacent to you.
Dang it. Okay, so I would need to move a little bit closer. That's okay. I have no other support actions right now.
All right, Feldspar, hit it.
So, Remus died with a final scream. Lance has run to him. There is this giant skeletal figure in front of us. There is absolute chaos happening all around, but everything starts to go unnaturally still and silent. There's no breeze in the trees. You don't feel any of the air around you. And the earth starts to rumble and shake. And water from the tributary starts to gather and swirl around Feldspar's feet, up and across her arms, into her eyes, into her hair, and suddenly freezes. And an apparition in front of her with snow white hair, long, long dreadlocks, wearing a gown made of ice, starts to rise and pops into existence as I summon Shiva to the battlefield.
You want to summon Shiva directly in front of you?
I have to summon directly in front of me.
Right. Just making sure. There you go. That ice will be her.
So, do I roll initiative for her? Or does she
Yes,
act after my
please.
turn?
Wait. Yes?
6.
I believe I'm correct. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you. Yes. Okay.
6.
Bam.
And that's my action. It was a slow action, so I can no longer do anything. I could
Right.
move, I think.
No. Slow takes
No,
up
I can't
all
move. I
three
can't do
action
anything.
types.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
What is Shiva's dexterity or agility? Excuse me.
Agility is 16.
Not the attack. The basic, regular old like agility stat.
Oh, 5.
Virgil, what's your agility? Excuse
You're
me.
muted.
Excuse me. Zeros. Not Virgil. Zeros.
What's my agility?
Yes.
4.
Okay. Shiva goes before Zeros in the initiative order. Virgil, it's your turn.
Okay, so this dragon, how high up, is it on the ground like the necromancer was, who's floating, or is the dragon on the ground?
No, it's on the ground.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to move up, because my movement is 3, so I'm going to go, I can make it. So my movement is 4, I can still make it. And I'm right up in front of it. And I run up to this bone dragon. And what I do is, you see Virgil just run at it, and he slams his body up against this thing. And he takes his arms and grabs a rib cage and another bone structure that is nearby. And he spreads his legs, gets into a nice, powerful squat stance as he goes to pick this thing up. As I would like to use Meteor Impact, which is basically suplex.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and roll. What kind of attack is it? Strength?
It is a strength.
I love that Virgil being like a combination of Sabin and Kane is just Vargas.
Yep.
That is too true, though. That is a 10.
That's it. A 10, you said?
Yes. Oh, wait, no. Yes, a 10. Yes, a 10.
So what kind of attack is it? Strength?
A strength, yes.
Okay, so your strength plus D10 was a 10, in other words.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled very low.
So let me roll this first. Okay, you go to try and lift, and it's a bit too heavy.
All right, gonna definitely need to wear you down a little bit before I can do this. That is all I can do with that turn. Because I moved and I did my action, my attack. My support, though, I don't have anything for support, so that's it.
Quick question before we go to the next turn. Do I get any valor for summoning Shiva?
I was literally about to say this because I haven't mentioned it yet. I'm going to give all three of you valor for the way you described everything you've done so far. But also, Sephi, just a quick correction. I was wrong. I did just get a note. I did just see on the back end. So Shiva acts on your turn by using a support action, but you used a slow action this turn, so you don't have a support action to give. But moving forward, you'll get your attack, and then you can turn your support into a Shiva attack. Okay. Salacia, it's your turn. But before we get to Salacia's turn, I'm going to point out, at this point you see Lance standing, enraged. He looks at the thing, he looks at the group, he says, "You," and he points at Salacia, "come with me. They can handle it. We've got another job." And you see Lance has completely shifted. He pulls back his hair and does a thing, and it's no longer loose and tied. It's tied back. This is a man on a mission. And you see him bolting in the direction that Gaffgarian went.
Salacia, before you go, there should be soldiers there. Coming.
All right, and I will reach around my neck and take my White Dragon Familiar Sugar and just put her on the ground. If you need help, if something goes wrong, just send her out. She'll find me. And I will turn and follow.
All right.
At top speed.
All right, so Salacia, I'm just, rather than have you actually move out one by one, I'm just gonna have you leave the map. Basically, you run off. Anatolos off on the side, you hear him, interesting. They truly believe in themselves. I wonder how that will work for them. He is some ways away, by the way. Like, there is Bone Hydra, and he is like off the map level distance. And with that, Salacia leaves combat and goes off screen and leaves us for other ventures, but will return, do not worry.
Bye, friends.
Bye, TK.
Oh, I forgot that she had to leave. Yeah.
Bye.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they had to leave. Yeah.
Uno momento while I fix this.
Iconic.
Truly.
No.
Soldiers goodbye.
Okay, while I'm fixing this, because I can do what I need to do while I fix this, give me one moment, folks. I unfortunately had to wait until DK left in order to be able to fix it.
Yeah.
But while I do this, Zeros, you are next. Go ahead and take your turn.
Virgil has put himself in a very unfortunate position.
I think I'm not used to.
In multiple contexts, probably.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so to cross the water here, how deep is that water to cross?
So again, it's still a tributary, so you're good. You don't have to use extra movement or anything like that to cross it. You can just do your thing and walk across it. I will likely start throwing you guys some fun here, but for now...
2, 3. I'm gonna place myself right here, and I am going to prep a counterattack.
Okay. Which counterattack are you prepping?
That's a good question. You know what I think I might do? Because the only attacks I have probably require straight line, which means diagonals are out of the question. And I don't know where they're going to move. My counterattack, I think, is going to be a barrier then.
Okay. Alrighty, totally fine. So you do that, and that will be your turn. So now the Hydra goes. And the Hydra sees Virgil right in front of it, who just had the unmitigated gall to try and attack it, and says, in an otherworldly sound, not quite like anything you've heard, and one of its heads strikes down, attempting to bite. No! What just happened?
What did just happen?
What did this happen?
What happened is this moved, and it's good now. Oh, it doesn't really matter. It'll matter in a little bit, but okay. We're good. Just something shifted on my end. Okay, so it is by default a strength attack. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
It is a 15 if you choose to guard with muscle or what have you.
I am going to guard with muscle.
Okay, so it's just the normal defense.
Yeah.
Strength
just normal
plus a
defense.
D10.
So strength. So you roll strength or muscle?
Well, excuse me, muscle plus a D10. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said strength. Muscle plus a D10.
Ooh, max. That is 17.
So, you do manage, as this thing goes down for a bite, to just barely dodge back out of its way. It was incredibly close. You felt the wind of this thing whipping against you, but you did manage to move just barely out of the way in time.
Oh yeah, like it. Should I describe how it looks?
No, go ahead.
It was like one of those moments where the thing was about to bite down him and he jumped back, and it's like this loud snap you hear. And when the dust clears, you see Virgil just like take his thumb and brush it against his cheek. Was like the only damage that thing did. And it's just a little tiny scratch on his face. He's like, okay, that was really close. So I think you're ready for me to just drop a train on you.
However, now is the point where I should point out, Hydras have more than one head.
Yeah, they do.
And so,
They have multiple.
They sure do.
and multiple,
Unfortunately.
and this Hydra gets to act twice per round.
Oh boy.
And so these heads now are very keen on making sure the one who struck them gets their due. And so the other two heads, almost in unison from the side, come swinging in, also trying to bite Virgil. And once again, same thing. It is a muscle attack,
Okay.
or a strength attack, I should say.
The way that everyone wants a piece of Virgil, though.
They want
Look
a
at-
piece of that beefcake bar.
Cannot help it.
The first roll against the first
Kitchen
attack is a
slice.
16.
Well, it's just one attack. It's two
Oh, it's just one
heads
second.
per-
Then it's 16.
Okay. This time it does get through. Because I didn't roll
Okay.
poorly.
Question though. Question. Can I boost up my resolve?
You-
Can I boost it up to 1 with my resolve, or that's totally different?
Oh, you mean like an overdrive action?
Yeah.
Give me a moment. Let me read something real quick.
Because I have 3 Valor right now, and
Yes,
my
you
overdrive is I get to bring up my resolve by
Right.
1 for the rest of the scene.
Oh,
Would
well,
that
your
be able
roll-
to?
resolve would be rolling resolve to. Were you rolling resolve
Okay.
to defend?
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I was wondering if I can just do that. If I could roll
Oh,
resolve.
I
to
didn't know
defend.
you switched to a resolve
Yeah.
defense. Okay. So here's the problem there. It's a bit of a catch-22 because of where you're at. So, I
Okay.
will say this for those who don't know, since Valor's a fun game, you can actually choose to defend with any of your given stats on an attack outside of what it normally is, but they all have some sort of drawback. The resolve-based defense does work, but you have to have at least 2 Valor to do it.
Well,
And so if you if you spend the 3 Valor to bump that by 1, now you're gonna be at 0. It's like a
Ooh,
self-defeating cycle.
that's right. You know what? That case,
So
you know what?
gotta
I'm not
build
gonna.
up a little more first.
Yeah, I'm just gonna build up a
Yeah.
little more. Yeah.
So it just these time the two heads just barely managed to clip one getting you in the back, one across the front. What is your defense?
My defense is 21.
Cool. You take 52 damage.
Oh boy.
That's a number.
That is a number.
That is a
Fallon,
number right
speaking
there.
of, this Hydra has found blood, and it is your turn.
It is my turn. Let's see. I think I'm gonna move closer. I'm gonna move behind it. And then I'm going to... Jeez, I feel like I should use my wrench.
Oh, by the way, you all got another point of valor
Oh, nice.
as the new round started.
Okay, so I think I meant 2. Okay, so...
Do we get one when we start?
No, you start with 0. So you've got 1 plus
So we've
the
all
1
got
from-
2.
Yes, but Wally's got extra because of having skills that he starts with 1.
Okay, so my wrench, damage core, strength. I think that's all I did. I think with my wrench, the only thing I said
You
was like damage
cranked
core.
that thing up to
Yeah, I did.
to max levels.
3. Strength is 3. Yeah, so I think from behind it, I'm going to do what I normally do, which is reach behind, take the wrench out, spin it around a little bit, and then whack at its legs, I think. I think I want to try to take out the legs.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll muscle plus 10. I mean plus a
Let's
d10.
do it. 8 plus 6 is 14.
Nice. Hold on 1 second. Ah! My screen away. Ooh, just barely. What was the... So it was level 3, so that's 30.
Yeah, level
what
3.
did I say
So
your
it's gonna be,
strength attack was? 24? 28?
25.
No, I just... What's your strength again? Your base strength?
9.
Plus 12... 24. It was 24.
24. It
So
was 24.
you deal
Yeah.
54 with that minus the
Dope.
thing's defense. Do you have any support actions or anything you want to add in?
I think the last thing that I want to do, I have a free action, which is a dirty trick. So target in my zone of control becomes surprised. I lose 2 valor in the
Right.
process, but
So-
it's...
I will give you a point of valor, by the way, for describing the wrench attack how you did. So that puts you to
Nice.
3. So minus 2, you're at 1.
Yes. So I'm at 1 valor, but I think that my goal is to just disorient this thing. So I've knocked it on the back of its legs, and as one of its heads whips around to see me, I'm gonna like sidestep and go back. It's just a little flavor thing, but I'm trying to like make the head twist around a little bit further than it actually can go, in an attempt to fully just like make this thing freaked out.
Absolutely. Is there a roll on... I can't
Dirty
remember.
trick. I don't believe
Nope,
so.
it just becomes surprised.
Yeah, it
so
just
it's
becomes
now
surprised.
surprised until the beginning of your next turn, which you're first. So
Yes.
basically, for the remainder of the turn, it's surprised.
For everyone else. Yep.
Yes. So what that does for everyone else, just so you all know, because it's surprised, all its defense rolls are at a -2 penalty, and whatever damage you normally deal, add your damage increment to it. So add 8 more damage on top of whatever you would normally roll.
Nice.
All right?
Oh,
Go ahead and hit.
that's all?
So next up, that would be Feldspar, and by default, our girl Shiva.
Let's get it.
Right. So I'm gonna combine them. So Shiva,
I love it.
this blue queen with blue skin, frosted with crystals. Her gown is just, it looks like it's made out of diamond if diamond were liquid. Will rise into the air, carrying Feldspar with her. And her eyes are gonna go blue and she is going to cast Frozen Heart. So I'm going to roll Aura.
An aura attack?
Mm-hmm. That is 8 to hit.
Oh, I rolled. This thing does not have awesome aura, and I rolled a 1, so you actually do manage to hit. Well, actually, and it's -2 at that, so.
Hold on, wait a minute. Is that crit damage?
No. You have to exceed by 10 in order to crit.
Oh, okay.
So if you're in single digits, you literally can't crit.
So Shiva raises one blue hand, long manicured fingers with ice, and casts it down, and a heart of ice slams across all 3 heads and shatters into the ground, crushing and breaking bone. That is 72 energy damage.
Holy Jesus.
Whoa.
Okay.
Is my support action.
Okay,
Yeah,
That's
you
your
also got
support?
Support.
And then, as she does at the same exact time, Feldspar will also raise a hand, and it will go white with energy, and she's going to cast Blizzara. So immediately after the heart shatters, a massive crystal of ice spikes up through the ground into one of the heads, piercing it. Hopefully.
Y'all, she's skipping CT. We got a calculator on this damn stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What
kind of attack we talking here?
Hold on, I'm going to tell you in 1 minute. Moment, I have multiple sheets because of my summons.
Do you think?
Okay, so that is going to be another aura roll.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's a 14.
Okay.
Oh, and I forgot, I have energy attacker too. So.
Well, no. Energy attacker doesn't apply to the attack roll. But I need to know, is it precisely a 14?
Yes.
Okay.
What else would it be?
I'm gonna tell you now. You get an extra point of valor for your description so far. So you're at
Yay!
what? 4? Okay.
3. 3, right?
Yes, 3.
Yeah, I think so, 3, yeah.
Remember, I did tell you about overdrives earlier.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna let you know you succeeded, and I rolled a 1 yet again, in case hypothetically you wanted to.
Is that a crit?
Not yet.
What do I have to succeed by?
I'm gonna go ahead and just spoil it because we're this far in. You've succeeded by 9.
Okay.
And you have 3 points
Wait,
of
okay.
valor.
So if I have blazing might, I increase my spirit and mind attack by 8 for the rest of the scene. Is that damage or the attack?
That would be damage, but what I was saying is there is an overdrive. You can spend 3 valor and just pick up a roll by 5.
I want to do that. Determination.
Yes. There you
Yeah.
go. So if you want to really emphasize that.
In addition, so as she casts a spell, crystals of ice start to form and frost over Feldspar's eyes into this mask of silver crystal. And the spike that rises from the ground shatters straight through this thing's skull, spreading it open with the crack of ice as it sort of breaks through like a rapid form of erosion and goes through each and every crack and crevice in the bone, traveling through this thing's body.
That's what I like to see.
That's so
What's the
I add how
normal
much
damage on that?
So the normal damage is let's see, 67 energy damage.
And that was a spirit attack, right?
It is a spirit attack, yes.
What's your spirit attack stat?
26.
So 67 plus another 26, so that's 87, 93 damage. Minus
Plus
resistance.
plus my energy attack.
Plus no. Well, I'm saying
It's not calculating to the base damage.
oh, so plus 6 more, so 99 plus the damage increment because of Fallon. So that's another 8. So 107 minus
Yo!
resistance.
Seppi with
Minus
the
resistance.
first 100 points of damage.
So you see
She was
these
making
three
these poses, by the way.
You I'm giving you another point of valor for that. You
Thank
see
you.
all three heads rear back and shriek in reaction to that hit. It's clearly still standing. You've seen a few pieces of bone fall, but you can tell that shit hurt.
I don't like you.
So, Virgil, you got another shot here, my friend.
I am going to pick this thing up again.
Okay, let's fucking do it.
Ooh, that is a 16. And is it still surprised?
It is. So basically, I get
Yeah.
-2 on my roll. And so, because matching a roll is a hit, you have hit, my friend.
Oh, okay. So this is what it looks like. I once again run at this thing and I slam my body up against it and I go to pick it up, but there is that moment where the Hydra is like, it's ready for me this time. That's where the headbutt roll kicked in. So you see this moment of both of us are doing whatever we can to overpower the other one, and it goes on for a couple of seconds, and then I just grip harder, and you see the veins bulge on my arms as I pick this thing up, and I hold it perfectly vertical up in the air, and I hold it there for a second, and I turn around, and I point at Feldspar. It's like, thanks for loosening it up for me, Feld, and I fall backwards into a suplex, slamming it on the
Hell
ground.
yes. Take
Yes.
a point of valor for that. What is your damage, my friend?
My damage for this thing is, I believe it is, 66 points of physical damage, and it is now knocked prone.
Plus, is that counting your damage increment?
Yes, that is counting all my damage increments in it.
Okay. So 9. Okay. I'm doing math on the fly, folks. I mean, I'm a fucking wizard. Okay, and it's not. So it is now surprised and knocked prone. Okay, good, perfect.
And as I would like to use my support action,
Jesus Christ.
and I would like to use size up as I make an intuition roll against the target, and it can
Okay.
be defended. But if I make it successful, I get to learn the current target's health and strength and all that other good stuff.
Yeah,
Holy
that'd be helpful.
Christ! I rolled a 1 again.
My
And it's one of
resolve
this dragon's not
is,
good. You said intuition, right?
yeah, intuition. So that is a 10.
Yeah, no, you succeeded. So what do you get to know?
I get to know its HP. I get to know its strength, and yeah, that's it. I get to know its strength and its health.
Let me read this shit real quick.
I think there's more to it though. Hold on.
Right,
think
that's why I
there's
was
definitely
like,
more to it.
I want to make sure I get it exactly right. I can tell you it's HP, especially after what you did. We're scanning here, folks.
Yeah, size up. Oh, strength, secondary abilities, and flaws.
Okay. Oh, here we go. You want to target current health, stamina, active attributes is the secondary, and then flaws. So I can tell you all of its active stats, and then okay. So it is currently at 271 out of 500 health.
Okay.
I can.
I will say the way he does it, he kind of like crouches down next to this thing and kind of like gives it a little bit of a scrutinizing eye, like, okay, yeah, you're pretty beefy. Guys, just fuck it up, guys, just fuck it up. And he takes back into a stance.
It also has 78 out of a normal 92 stamina. Its active attributes down the line, its strongest ones are muscle and resolve are 7. Aura is 6, intuition is 4, its dexterity is only 2. And it has no flaws.
Just like me. Got it. Okay.
I was hoping for that.
I relay all that information to the crew.
Okay. All right. So with that, I'm assuming that ends your turn.
Yeah.
Salesia's not here, so we move on to Zeros.
Okay, I am going to step it on right up here.
And Zeros, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm probably breaking rules here, but I'm gonna do it on purpose because of what your character is like and the things we've discussed and your whole your several steps ahead Shikamaru-esque approach. I am going to allow the counterattack to still be prepped for the dome specifically. If you want to change it, I would make you redo it, but I will allow you to keep that shit on the ready and continue to do your stuff.
Okay. Well, in that case, what I'll do is just not take support actions. That's fine. So, from here, like, Zeros's sword starts to glow. There is the fun 8-bit movement. Like, there's a chant happening here, but no one can hear what that is. Before he swings the sword straight down, and you see like a column proceeding toward the dragon of giant swords that look like lights coming from the ground.
Hell yeah. Take a point of valor for that. What are you rolling? And so I can defend against it.
This attack is Spirit.
Okay.
Right. So that's a 16 for you.
You succeed. What kind of damage are we looking at here?
That is going to be 51 damage.
Counting your damage increment?
Counting my damage increment.
Yeah, you add your damage increment because it's still surprised.
Oh, because it's still surprised. Well, if I add the damage increment,
So
that
that'd
is
be what-
59.
Yeah. So
That's
okay.
59.
Okay.
I just, at the end, like, I just go, that's one, and then wait.
Okay. And I'm assuming no one moved from wherever they've been thus far, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Except for me.
Right.
I moved closer.
I didn't
Right.
If I get close to an enemy, it's going to be a problem for me.
Okay. So now it's
Very
the Hydra's
physically
turn.
weak.
And this Hydra is getting moving. The first thing it does is it looks directly at Wally right in front of it. And you see a black, sort of purple-black flame forming around it. And it almost ethereal seems to go in the air. With no sound, no scream, no anything. Wally, do me a favor. And roll.
Don't do the
For
favor.
me.
Don't do it. It's not a favor. It's
Do me a
bad.
favor.
Just say
and
no.
Say
Roll,
no.
You're gonna have to. It's a roll aura in defense. Here.
Ooh, that was close. That's a 14.
Okay. So this hits you. So you see this orb go down and just hit into you. But you don't feel pain right away. It was not a direct strike, but all of a sudden, your arms and your limbs feel so much tighter than they should, and everything feels just a little bit off. Almost like there is a sense of encroaching doom upon you, which is the name of the move. You are not doom status, don't worry. It is a far meaner name than it is a move. But you have been struck with the flaw's weak aura, feeble, and aggravated moves. So you suffer a -1 on essentially any defense roll you make, whether physical or magically focused. And healing is going to be half as effective on you. Pretty much for as long as this thing lasts.
Got it. Okay.
And then, meanwhile, so you saw all of that coming from the center head. Meanwhile, the side heads pull back and look over at Fallon right in their range.
Yep.
And they begin shaking as you see a similar dark aura flame energy form in their mouths, but you can tell this ain't the same thing. And all of a sudden, the breath of them fires forth towards you. Even though it's fire, you feel a sense of decay and death and darkness within it. Do me a favor and also roll, in this case, aura defense.
No.
Okay,
Let's see
so
what
then
it
it
is.
automatically hits.
Crit,
Who can
actually.
play this fucking game?
Okay, so
That's a 0.
I don't see.
Aura
Defense.
is... no. It's aura is like the aura stat. Just like
Okay.
you would with any other
So
thing.
just 6.
And then roll a d10 plus that.
Just a 6.
6 combined?
Total.
Okay. So this hits. So you
Yeah.
feel this flaming darkness crash into you and blow by. And while you expect it to burn, it feels cold and icy. And it feels like the grip of death coming for you. And like part of your soul is being ripped away. What is your resistance stat?
My resistance stat is not marked. That's a fun thing.
That is
Okay.
6 plus your mind and spirit.
6 plus mind and spirit. 6 plus 10 is 16.
Okay.
Mind is
Right.
7. Spirit is 3.
So you take 46 damage.
Cool. That's fine. Let me get this.
All right. So that means back to top of the order. Everyone gets a point of valor again. And speaking of Fallon, you go first for your revenge.
Amazing. My revenge. So I'm back up to 2.
Yes.
Which is fun. Okay, so I think that this time I'm gonna try and hit with my wrench again, and then free action dirty trick again, and keep surprising.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
One thing I will say, you can do the dirty trick first.
yeah,
help
I'm
you
gonna do
benefit
that, so
from
it's
it.
surprised. Yeah, so I will spend my 2 valor. I go down to 0, and it becomes surprised.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna use my wrench to slam on it. So last time it should be 15 plus 24 was the number we said, plus whatever I roll.
No. You have 3 points in the wrench, right?
Yes,
So 30 plus 24, so 54.
30 plus. Okay,
But you also get your damage increment, which is another 8 because you surprised it first. So that'll be
so
62.
30 plus 24 plus 8.
Yes. So 62 if you hit.
Yep.
What's your attack roll?
My attack roll is.
So muscle plus attack.
Yep. I
Muscle plus a
Randomly.
d10. I know how things work.
7 plus 6 is 13.
Okay. And I'm gonna roll.
And it's surprised, so.
Yep. That is 3. You said 13?
13.
Just barely.
Nice.
So you whip this thing with your wrench again, and a small piece comes off. So that was 62, we said.
62. 62. Mm-hmm.
25. Okay. And as you hit it, is that the end of your turn, real quick?
Yeah, I will slam into it one more time, and as the bone, like, the cracking bone resounds, I will just cut through and yell to my teammates and just say, okay, we gotta finish this thing off soon. And swing my wrench up for the next time I'm gonna hit.
And as you hit it, once again, you hear a vicious, otherworldly screech emanating from this thing with a tinge of pure rage. And
Virgil,
you
this is
see
the time.
dark
turn.
energy beginning to form in the chest. You can see through the open cavities between the bones. As if this thing takes a step, clomps down, and is clearly getting more and more enraged at what is happening.
Is it charging up?
It looks like it's charging up.
I think it's charging up. It's time to lay into it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I made it easy for the rest of you.
All right. And speaking of the rest of you, Feldspar, your turn.
Hello. I think that it's time. So Feldspar, who is being held by Shiva aloft, she will descend to the ground and set Feldspar down, and she will lean down and give Feldspar a kiss on the cheek as a single tear comes across her eye. And she will rise back up into the air above the dragon. A vortex of ice and snow will start to whip up around her, streaming through her legs, through her skirts, raising her dreads into the air like serpents hissing and rising up as she casts Diamond Dust.
All right.
Now, Diamond Dust is her final technique, which is Aura 1d10. Aura. Oh lord. Sorry, my computer's freaking out. One second. Where? Oh no. There it is. Okay. Sorry, it's really freaking out for some reason.
No problem.
Okay, there we go. Alright. Ooh, not good. That is a 9.
What's good for you is that it's still both shaken and prone, so -3 on the roll, because
Yes.
I otherwise would have had a 12.
So it hits.
Just by the skin of teeth. This is very anime stuff right now.
The vortex of ice and snow that is curling around her will slam down on him as a single spear comes to her hand, crackling with ice and light as she casts it down to follow. And with the bright bursts of light and little wisps of snow, she creates a storm effect. So basically, Diamond Dust remains on the field until the end of my turn 2 turns from now, targeting everyone within its area at the beginning of your turn. It's 1 square, persistent. And it has a range of 16 if that's relevant. Technically, it's multi-target as well.
So one thing I screwed up in episode 1, and I will clarify, you cannot multi-target on the same target.
That's what I
the
thought.
Hydra gets multiple attacks, but it's not like separated heads.
So it takes 62 damage to start.
And then it can take...
I'm sorry, plus energy attacker because she has it too. So 68 damage to start.
And then that will continue each turn.
Yep. And then with a final blow of a kiss, she disappears in a crackle of thunder and snow.
Okay.
And that's my support action.
And now you get your action again.
Cool.
'Cause you're
I'm gonna
cracked
cast.
as hell.
I'm gonna cast Blizzara again at this fucker. Another aura
Go
roll.
for it.
Thank you. I will. Okay. So much better. That is a math. 16? 16. 1 less than max.
Okay. That hits.
Cool. So that is 67 more energy damage as another spike chases the other one that went right through it.
All right. And I'm assuming that's going to end your turn?
Yeah, that's all I can do.
All right. And Virgil, you're up.
Okay, so I still have this effect on me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
What I would like to use an overdrive. I would like to use 3 of my valor to use the overdrive Indomitable. during your turn in combat and all adverse effects currently affecting you. So you just see like Virgil, he's like hunched over, breathing hard because his legs and arms are weak. And you see a flashback to when Virgil was being trained, and you see like this unknown figure kind of berating him, telling him that even there is a time when you think you are weak, you can just reach into yourself. You'll find something that will just wash away anything that is troubling you. And he's like, first time I'm listening to you, old man. And he takes in a deep breath. And when he takes in that breath, you see his muscles just flex and tense up as that effect just shakes right off of him. Whew. All right. Time to hit it right back to you in spades. And he jumps up into the air, and I got a 17 on my roll to hit for
This
a
is
dragon
muscle?
kick. Yeah. What did you get?
I rolled a 1 again, so I'm.
So
Just
I
fucking kill
got
it. You hit.
I got a 17.
Well, no, so I'm saying I'm doing the math so I can see.
Ooh.
So, my
Dice want us to win.
Don't do the math. Just leave it at 1.
Let it go.
It's fine. It's a loss.
How many more Valor points do you have?
I have 2 more left. Because I used 3. I had 5 and I used 3, so I brought myself down to 2.
Here's one thing I need to see. Here's. Can you use.
Tap it, tap it, tap it,
Okay.
tap it, tap it, tap it, tap it.
No. I'm calling in a help here before I tell you a thing.
Uh-oh.
No. It will be a good thing. Okay.
Will it?
Okay. No, we're good. Okay. No. So you succeed, but not enough to crit. So I just wanted
Okay.
I wanted to double check something before I lied to you about a thing.
lie.
So cool. I know, right? So you do hit, but what's your damage here?
That is and it's still like suffered from anything, right? It's not suffering from anything still?
No, it's still surprised. So you deal an extra 8 damage compared to whatever
Okay,
your base
so then
is.
that is 56 plus you said what am I adding to it?
8.
Damage to
So 64.
64 points of total, yeah.
Okay. And that's your turn?
Yeah, you see him just
Okay.
jump up into the air, does a flip in the air, and he drops down and slams 2 of his feet against one of the Hydra's head, and it's a loud, resounding as he
Alright.
then pushes off and flips backwards, landing on the ground again.
And you see as you land, this thing, it's wobbling, it's shaking, it's taking a beating, and it's
Has it caught a chill?
Oh, it definitely caught a chill.
you see it's wobbling, and you see more of this energy forming into the chest of it, but it's clearly hurting.
Zeros? Fallon?
Guys,
Do something?
do something because this thing is gonna hit us hard if we don't.
Speaking of Zeros, your turn.
This is where before that happens, I tell okay, I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this exactly. First thing I would want to say is to tell Virgil to step back a bit.
Takes a step back.
That must have been
Maybe
very
two.
He takes another step back.
It is still Virgil's turn. You didn't use a move action.
I didn't
If
use
you
any
want,
movement, yeah.
Because it goes one or the other. I'll let you move if you want to.
Yeah, because I will definitely take as soon as they say that he will take
So,
several steps
say back
backwards.
here-ish.
Yeah, back there.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Go ahead then.
Now,
Zeros.
a quick question to the DM here.
Please.
Based on what I've seen in this battle so far, would it be the more strategic thing to try to contain whatever this move is it's about to do? or to try to end it outright?
You can, I'm gonna leave that up to you, but I will tell you now, you can see this thing is, if it was a live Hydra, it would be breathing very heavy and labored. It is creaking on the ground, and many pieces of bone have fallen from it. But whether or not you'll be able to eliminate that, that's, in other words, your gamble to make.
Okay. And also a mechanic question. Can I sacrifice a support action to take another attack action?
No, you can do one but not the other. You can sacrifice an attack to make a support, but not the other way around.
Okay,
But
so
you,
I get an attack action and a support action?
Yes.
Okay, bet. Here's what we're gonna do.
I know what you're gonna pull here.
Okay, so thing number one, we're going to make attack number 2 with the same line attack that we did the previous turn.
Absolutely.
For a mind roll, so it's that plus the mind stat? Or is it that plus intuition?
For spirit attack?
Oh wait, hold on. Hold on. Is this a spirit attack? Yeah, it is. You're
So
right.
spirit plus so D10 plus aura. Right?
Okay,
Aura?
that is a
Yeah.
that is a 16 to hit.
You succeed on that hit.
Nice.
Lovely.
Let's clear it out. Let's clear it out.
That is going to be. Wait, is there a damage increment here, or is this normal damage?
This is a damage increment added.
Okay, that is another 59 damage.
Yeah, sorry folks, I need to change the giveaway command. That is obviously from an old thing. 59 you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So as your attack strikes, you see this thing is very hurt and haggard, but still not quite fallen.
Fallon!
Okay.
Please, Fallon, do something.
Hold on. Does anyone have a turn after me? Let me ask that question, or is that the Hydra turn after this?
I'm at the top.
I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Do any of the rest of you, with the valor I've given out and such, have 3 spare valor points?
Nope. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't. I would have done it.
Okay, then I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Armor of light. Halt the enemy's might. And a giant dome that, like, it's translucent dome with like constellations in it forms around the dragon, trapping it in that spot. Which is why I advised you to back up, Virgil. And that is my turn, because that is a support action.
And now it's the Hydra's turn. And so from within the dome, you can hear a muffled screeching and a slam, slam, slam against the wall of it with its various body parts.
Why didn't you do that to start with? Zareth?
Things can neither go in nor come out.
I'm fine with it not coming out and not going in, to be honest.
But then you wouldn't have been able to do the glorious things that you did. Imagine us
That's why
like
we
yelling
can
on these skills when
leave.
these are happening.
We could leave.
I mean, this is kind of one of those things you would kind of lead with, but good job. Good job, Zeros.
Is it trying to?
It's a spirit-based wall, correct?
The wall? Yes, it is.
Go ahead and roll me an aura roll.
Okay, I will. Is it trying to pass through the barrier?
It's trying to slam through the barrier.
Because, if it does, that barrier is violent.
It's gonna hurt. It's still trying to slam through the barrier.
Okay, so what do you need here?
An aura roll.
Number
just a
plus
regular,
what?
Aura plus D10.
Okay, that is a 15.
Oof.
Can you beat that?
Because for once, the dice actually wanted this shit to go through. Because I rolled a 10 on the dice itself on this thing's strongest stat. So you see this wall begins to creak and crack. The nature of the dome pressing its energies inward in response, trying to hold it in. Feel free.
If you know the constellations, what you see is the constellation of Sagittarius light up.
There
as
are
an
better
arrow
ones, but
descend,
no fair.
Yeah.
as an arrow descends from space.
And you see that as the dome breaks open, the arrow pierces the unfortunate Hydra, who is clearly on its last legs and really can't afford to take hits, but still has
That's another 8 damage.
some little energy left. And thus the dice's turn, or the dragon's turn, Hydra's turn, that thing's turn. And first, you see it rise up, and all 3 of its necks begin to twist round its central neck until all 3 heads form a triangular shape upon one another, with their mouths connecting in the middle as they extend. And all this energy starts flowing in through its whole body. As you see, it's clearly just a feeling of amplified energy bursting through the area you're all in, just overtaking you. As you can tell, this thing is using every last ounce of strength it has left. It uses its first action on a boosting technique.
I don't like this.
And now, covered in all of this dark energy, you see all of the energy collecting in its mouths, and it reaches them down, and it fires forward in the directions of both Virgil and Feldspar. Both of you need to roll aura for me.
Okay.
I don't have reactions yet.
Wait,
That's
I think
good,
I can
that's
add
good,
something
that's
to
good, that's
this.
good,
Hold
that's
up,
good,
hold
that's
up,
good.
hold up.
I rolled max. That's fine. That's fine. You said aura. Okay, that's
Aura.
a 15. Yeah.
What element is this?
It's darkness. It's literally just dark death decay situation.
Okay, can't help there. I chose ice. Alright, I'm afraid to roll. But let's see. That's not good. That is. Which stat did you say this was?
Aura.
10.
Sephi, what's your resistance?
26.
And Wally, what's your resistance?
My resistance is 16.
Sephi, you take 77 damage.
Oh god.
Wally, you take 87 damage. And as the 77, and as this dark pillar whips through the air and goes behind you both, the actual ground gets warped and torn apart and pushed to the side as this burst of energy barrels through and literally just creates a pillar view through the forest behind you. Fallon, you're up.
Okay.
Feldspar does not look good.
Feldspar doesn't look okay. Okay.
I'm 4 points away from critical.
Oh no. Okay, so I think that's. Jeez. Are we have another Valor now?
You did gain another point, yes.
Okay. So
And remember, for overdrives, you can't go into negative to use them. For dirty trick, you can.
yeah, for dirty trick I can. Jeez. Okay.
It's also no longer prone from Wally's attack. So
Yeah.
like, as of right now, it's weak, but it only has its own boosts on it. It doesn't have any other status effects.
Okay, okay, so I can use my 3 as a reaction at the end of someone else's turn to take another turn, right? And then skip my next turn.
Yes,
For
but I mean,
desperate
right
action?
now it's your turn.
Yes,
But
I'm
in
just
other words,
asking,
you
so
could
I'm
go
gonna-
again after someone else's turn if
Yeah.
you wanted to, and basically it would skip your following turn.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep wrenching it up. I don't think my hand cannon's gonna really do as much damage as I would like.
All right, hit
So,
me with
I'll
a
just keep doing that.
a muscle attack.
Nice, will do. Come on, muscle. 10, nice. Okay, so 10 plus 62, I think it was.
No, not the strength attack, just muscle.
Oh, 10 plus 6, sorry, 60.
No problem.
I just said 62, that's so funny,
What?
sorry.
It's fine. You rolled a 72. That's fine.
Plus 2.
Do it hit?
Does it?
Does
Can I roll
it?
a d10 against that?
Knowing how much damage you deal, I'm gonna go ahead and just say the old classic. How do you want to do this?
Yeah, okay, so, Fallon has been behind this thing the entire time, watching her teammates kind of pull off these amazing, fantastical magic effects, and somewhere deep inside of her, she looks at them as people she aspires to be, but also people she wants to impress, and with every single bearing down of her hands with this wrench, she has chipped more and more bone, but from the last thing she saw, which was her friends almost get dropped, you watch her fully... Yeah, what she's gonna do, she tosses the wrench up in the air, grabs it as it lands, and spins with her entire body towards the midsection of this thing, completely shattering it halfway through. So she makes eye contact with Feldspar, Virgil, and Zeros just before the top and the bottom connect and it falls apart.
Hell yes. And with that, you hear one last feeble as the body settles into the ground and begins disappearing into a cloud of dark flaming energy that just dissipates into nothingness. And the Bone Hydra has been slain. And of course, having beaten it,
Let's go!
So excited.
After the motherfucker who brought it here.
the Bone Hydra
I'm
is
sorry,
slain.
after the person that brought it here.
Oh, it's fine.
Feldspar
swear.
doesn't cut.
I
As for the
swear.
motherfucker
I
that
didn't
brought us
swear.
here,
I'm in a lot of pain.
I'm in a lot of pain. You see, Virgil looks.
I just
I'm critical.
ask everybody to kind of like basically pull up on me if you can, and at the end of that,
We get our incremental health back after that, right?
Yes. In the back behind where this thing was, you hear You're all proving quite interesting. And the hooded
Can I
man
just
still in the
direct
air.
the storm to go towards it since it's ongoing?
No.
Yeah.
But the hooded man reaches into his pocket in the side and flicks in your direction. Wally, actually Fallon, because of where you're at. Give me a dexterity roll.
Cool. Can do. Come on, Dex. Let's go. Nice. 14.
All right. With the dexterity roll there, you catch this thing in midair as it comes flying at you. And as you look in your hand, you see a coin that is neither gold nor currency. It's a small coin like, it's clearly punched like a coin, but it is a jet black with a symbol you don't recognize on it immediately. And the man simply goes, I'm sure our paths will meet again. And he holds up a crystal and blinks out of view.
Yeah, well, I think our... he's gone.
Your
Alan-
master looks foolish.
Both
tell
of you
him,
take
Phelps.
Fowler points real quick.
Yeah.
Good job, Felt. You
You're
really,
back at zero, but
really
that's
told
one
him
for
there.
you. Okay.
Fallon dropped the wrench into the water, like dropped it into the water to catch this coin, and it's completely like disheveled, just bright red hair kind of pulled back, but like strings everywhere, and just looks at this coin.
What is that thing?
I'm not sure.
We'll worry about it later. We have to catch up with the others.
Yeah, let's hurry up.
Reinforcements should be on the
just
way.
do- I do a small healing thing while everyone's talking.
Nice.
Nice,
Okay.
perfect.
You can
I'll
all.
Y'all
pocket.
can have y'all get
How much?
27 health.
Hey! Oh shit! What up?
Feldspar, because you said, what is that thing? I'm assuming you're close enough, or you walked towards Fallon afterwards. Go ahead and give me an intuition check.
Absolutely. Love to. That is an 11.
Okay. You aren't quite sure where specifically you've seen this symbol stamped before, but you know you've seen it, and your intuition tells you it's going to be, it's related, like it's maybe a family's crest or something like that, like a symbol of a noble house. But just by directly looking at it, you would not be sure specifically which one, but you know you've seen that noble crest somewhere before.
That's the
Yes.
crest of
Go ahead.
that's the crest of a noble house. I don't know which one for sure, but if we could get back to Limbury, I could look into it for you.
Would I be able to possibly see if I know this family crest?
Hit it. Give me an intuition roll.
Let's try it.
I would also like to do the knowledge things.
Oh, I did a 12. That's not
Throw
good.
them at me.
Okay.
Better than me.
You know what? Let me just. Why not?
That's a 15.
Hey, 15. Come on, 15.
I got a 7. So there's that.
I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt.
I'm so angry about that roll because I have a 7 to intuition.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You recognize it as being from again, you recognize the family. It's specifically from the Holstead family, which you know comes from further out to the west. Zero specifically, I'll say. You know they come from more in the Galleon territory. They're not like the most powerful family, but they're from out in that direction.
Okay.
Do you recognize it, Zaris?
Do you? curious. Do you know of the Holsteads?
I assume I do because they're from the
about to
same
say-
place I do.
Feldspar would know because you've been at the Magic Academy, you've been out in that area. Nobles know nobles. You've heard of them before. The name even rings a little bit familiar to you. You can't pinpoint why, but you know you've heard of them before.
They're a noble family out in the west. Around where I studied, I mean.
Galleon?
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Large
Why does
group.
it-
Not the most powerful, but definitely present.
Why would this person have a crest from them?
More importantly, why would they give it to us?
Guess that's what we're here to figure out.
I feel like we're being asked to play along somehow. The person who gave it to us knows who they're dealing with, and at the very least thinks we'll be curious enough to wonder what this was.
I wonder if it's a threat against them or a sign that they're complicit. I couldn't begin to understand that man's intentions.
Look, all I
Lord
know is this guy's...
Gaffgarians, he just made an enemy of the entire army.
Not for nothing, guys, but I kinda wanna just break that guy's face.
Yeah.
We should head after the others. We don't know how dangerous he is. He murdered Remus.
He didn't just murder Remus. He did some freaking magic shit that he definitely couldn't do before.
Yes. It's dark old magic. I've never thought I would see the likes of it.
That's
In a way, it's almost an inversion of what Zeros can do.
oh.
Kind of is, actually.
You're muted.
Is Wait, I should. No, I'm not.
Oh,
Here
no,
you
I
go.
can hear
There
you.
we go.
I can hear you.
Okay, it was Well. What I can say for certain about that is, he has made contracts with powers that he does not understand.
He understands more than we do, that's for damn sure. Which means that he's our best bet on looking for that man, so we know what direction he went into, but not the other.
Does that mean we have to pick?
Didn't Lance go after that direction too?
We have to go there. We don't know where the other man teleported to.
Yeah.
I'm going
also
to
where
collect
summation
up
will be.
the white dragon, I think it's white, in my arms and just start running in the direction.
Yep.
Gonna head on after.
And our heroes.
I would like to go back and collect one of the bones if the bones are still there. If it has evaporated completely, then never mind.
It's
And
completely.
Fallon, it looked like you wanted to say something.
It's completely evaporated. It was clearly, while the bones themselves were constructed, the whole thing was clearly put together with magic, and it just went with the magic that formed it.
Fallon reaches down, picks up the wrench, puts it in the holster that she has for it, and takes the coin in her palm, follows the team.
And with that, our heroes collected. They begin to head towards the path they saw their allies going down. And with that, we will end tonight's episode of A Tale of Two Lions.
Let's go.
Thank you all so very much for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. I apologize for not taking a break because of how we got caught in combat. I didn't want to do it in the middle of combat, and then I made a big, very strong monster, y'all. It took longer to kill
was
than I
fantastic,
planned.
That was
though.
great.
That was great, though. That
fun.
was...
The fact that this encourages description with the group that obviously has a bunch of DMs and people that like to describe things makes this so good. It's like a
Yes.
system
Perfect.
for DMs. It's
Yes.
great. Just
So-
you're encouraged to describe things constantly, and I'm just like, you mean what I have to hold back when I'm normally a player?
Exactly.
You mean I get to do the thing?
Exactly.
So good, it's so good.
I am going to do, because someone brought up the giveaways, I'm going to do the giveaway, start the giveaway right now while I begin
it.
my little post-stream chat that I have to make things easy. Folks, anybody who wants to win a 1-month subscription to Adventuring Kit, which you saw playing out on the table,
Which
and
is
how
pretty
easily I used
baller.
it.
I gotta
is
say,
really
it's
good,
very
yo.
It's very streamlined.
Yeah.
It's very
Go ahead
comfortable to use.
and hit exclamation point free in chat, and you'll be entered for that. We're giving away 2 codes tonight. So let me put that first, exclamation point free. I will go through the beginning of my spiel We'll do the draw after, and then I'll go through the end of my spiel. So first, I would like to thank you all so very much. And first of all, I'd like to thank our sponsors for this game once again. The first sponsor, Valorous Games. Y'all saw the system. It's a D10 system, super free form. Very crunchy, but really, really well done. It's just an excellent game. If you hit !Valor in chat, you will get a link both to the Twitter account of Valorous Games, so you can stay updated on things, and to their website where you can purchase it. They do have a Kickstarter coming soon for a reprint of the player's handbook. It will have some errata taken care of. It will have some small editing things cleaned up here and there. And most notably, excuse me, it will have some names corrected. That Kickstarter page should be live by the time we return next week, so I'll be able to link directly to that. I just want to say, you hear all of us talking about how it's so good, because we mean it. Like, we're just dipping into it, and
we've all played a lot of systems. This is a good one. It's fun.
This is a really good
There were
system.
some pratfalls to start, but once we got our issues cleared up, it's smooth, it's fun, and it lets you have the big video gamey, anime-y type moments that just feel good. You know?
Yeah.
And you can make some really... I've had several ideas for how I was going to make this boss encounter. I settled on what I did, but I really felt like I had an open book on how, no pun intended, on how to approach it. Like, it is good and it is fun. Also, I just want to take a moment to add, Valor Liana in chat is the creator of the book, well, one of the co-creators of the system, and is super, super open and available to things. I'm not going to tell you to go ahead and like ask for a 5-hour power lunch for free, but is like very open, receptive. If you come with ideas, if you have questions, things like that, will very often fill things in. Is just a great person to deal with, and I just want to give a shout out there. One more time for the folks in chat, !free if you would like to potentially win a free month of Adventuring Kit, which is our other sponsor. I'm about to go into that now. Adventuring Kit is a system-agnostic virtual tabletop. The base format is free, but you get more options, obviously, if you end up with a premium account. It is super clean. It is super nice. It is basically lag-free. It's just excellent. That's probably my favorite thing about it. Like, I'm going to take a little moment to highlight something I care about it. There are other system-agnostic virtual tabletops. One that probably anyone here who has played any type of online game has used at some point. I am not a big fan of one of the other big ones because I just assume the code for that site is a big pot of spaghetti because it runs so laggy. This doesn't happen. That's one of the first things I ever saw when I opened it up. It's just like, oh, you just react when I click things. It's beautiful. It's very intuitive. It's very clean, and it's just nice. Thank you, Coleslaw. I will try and correct that real quick if I have the chance. I will also like to take the time to point out that, as I said, it is free, but, you know, the devs are also very, very, very patient listeners, even for free users. So one thing I can recommend, if you have any ideas, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you have anything like that, if you follow Adventuring Kit, you'll get a link to their Discord. Their dev team will very much so make sure to correct any issues you have and also to take any feedback. I've brought some ideas to them that they're already working on. So it's really, really, really cool in that regard. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the first drawing now for the first code. Let me roll that. Bam! Flower Crown, you get the first code.
Hey! Congrats, Flower Crown.
Nice.
Word.
I know who that is.
Amazing.
I will be sending that to you after the stream. Expect that in your inbox. Here on Twitch with a code that when you plug it in, it'll give you a free 1-month subscription. I'm going to go ahead and re-up this so that we can do another one. But this time it'll be free keyword, ! Kit. Because I'm good.
Kit.
! Kit. K-I-T. If you would like, we're giving away 1 more code. So that's 2 codes total. And now, so that we can get this thing rolling, let me go ahead and have our players start saying goodbye, and we'll do the roll after the fact. Wally, take it away. Let people know where they can find you.
Sup, y'all, it's me, Wall. You can find me on Twitter, WALLE132, like the cute little Disney robot, where I'm talking about all the stuff that I do and all the games that I play in. You can find me here every week playing this Final Fantasy Tactics game with these fantastic people. You can find me every Thursday over at GGK Game Nights playing some Monster of the Week. You can also find me here every other Wednesday over at Black Girl Maze. Some person named Lexi.
I don't know.
They are. They made this fantastic, amazing AP that I'm part of. It's okay, I guess. But really, check out the Strix.
It is okay.
It is fantastic. It is the first episode was last week. We're on break this week, but next week is episode 2. Cannot wait for you to check it out. Lamar did nothing wrong.
You're gonna lie to yourself, Wally?
I am going to lie to myself and say that Lamar did nothing wrong, but he
Justice
did
for Nora.
100% justice for Nora. 100% justice for Nora, y'all.
Justice for Nora.
And I'm gonna pass it on down to Sin. How you doing?
I watched the Strix, and I'm just sitting here like, you know what? I ain't saying a damn thing.
You already
No.
know. 'Cause
You already know.
Damn thing.
You already know.
I know.
First thing, the way that I'm expecting this to take like a dip into the craft for how this plot's going to play out, because Nora deserves some comeuppance at some point. It's going to be at someone's senior prom, but I digress. Hi, my name is Sin, also known as, well, by many things, but mostly the Sunflower Sovereign these days. You can find me playing Hollow Knight still on Tuesdays. You can find me with the Tech Talk crew on Thursdays, with D&D Jordan Lee playing a adorable roguish robot on Saturdays, and here on Mondays, being the magic sword person, Rude Knight, who wanted to punch Gaffgarian in the face and still wants to punch Gaffgarian in the face, and was out of range for all of the containment things to keep people in place until we could do that. I will have my vengeance at some point during this campaign, and I want that to be made clear.
Well, we know he survives the war. Unfortunately.
And that's it. Who shall we pass things to?
I'm not going to reveal what happens in the next 8 episodes. Lexi,
Lexi!
go ahead and move next up.
Yeah, my name is Lexi, otherwise known as the Black Girl Mage. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch under that name, where I am doing D&D stuff, I'm doing tabletop RPG stuff, I'm doing magic stuff, weirdly enough. But yeah, for the most part right now, I am going through, we are currently premiering the Strix, which is also, you know, we've got a 3-day power hour kind of going on with shows. So normally, the Strix would be released on Wednesdays. This Wednesday, as Wally said, we're on break, but next Wednesday, we will be back with episode 2 of our all black HBCU-inspired Strixhaven game. Yeah, justice for Nora. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
And Sephi.
Hi, I'm Sephi,
Not an
aka What?
Not
Why are you
Sin.
interrupting me?
Announcement.
Why are you interrupting me?
Because
Is
I'm
what I say not
obnoxious.
important enough?
Because I'm obnoxious, and I just
How dare
always
you.
manage to hurt myself.
Oh yeah, so you're centering your feelings here when you're interrupting me.
Uh-oh.
So you're gonna colonize my space now.
This is my ad space. Thank you very much.
That's my best friend, y'all. I just need y'all to understand.
Anyway, hi, I'm Persephoroth, aka Persephone Valentine, aka Sephi. You can find me at Persephoroth everywhere on the internet. Every Monday I'm here. You should definitely continue to watch this. Every Tuesday I am on That Bronze Girls channel for Shikar, which is a long-term actual play set in a world based on our heritage and Miyazaki stuff. It's really great. You can find me on soon to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday probably streaming on my channel at Persephoroth. And yeah, I do a lot of video game challenges, Pokemon runs, Nuzlocks. I'm currently trying to speed run Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, which is a randomizer, stuff like that. I do drag. Also check out my video with Ethan Nestor, Crank Game Plays, where I put him in drag for the first time. So that's it for me.
And with that, let me go ahead and draw our other winner before I move us on to other pastures. Alrighty. Exclamation point kit if you wanted the free code in chat. And yeah, before I roll, let me just say, so I can say that one more time. Exclamation point kit in chat if you want to potentially win a free month of adventuring kit.
One more thing. Go, Anor, shout out the actual play that you're about to be in.
Yeah.
Tonight.
I'm about
DKs.
Talk about yourself.
I'm
Yeah.
not only planning to do that, I'm also planning on raiding us over there because it's already live.
Okay, good.
I'll
I
be
just want to make
joining
sure
them.
that you
Please
weren't
talk
being...
about yourself because
Yes,
you're
I will be joining
fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi,
Now you can
I'm
talk about yourself.
I'm Josh, aka Anoriand. I do all types of things. You find me here tonight. After this, we're going to raid over to Exquisite Corpse Presents, which is the channel of DK, who played Salacia, who is obviously not here at this point because they had to leave to go run the finale of an awesome show. But thank you so much, Sin, for the exclamation point DK one more time. Please go support them. Also, their stuff was put in exclamation point players for you to click. We'll be raiding over there because they're already live, so that'll be a nice little surprise. But I'll be joining them as a group of, I believe, 7 players / good aligned NPCs are going to be taking on me and Draconics, for those of you who know him, as 2 really evil, effed up, powerful gods.
I love Draconics.
We're going to have
seriously,
a
Drac
lot.
is the best.
good.
We
Drac
have
is so good.
we have basically let everyone know we're going to Goku and Vegeta the fuck out of these players.
As you
Yes,
should.
as
you
you
should.
100% should.
I'm gonna go ahead and spoil for everyone here. We each got to be able to create our god boss character. One of my moves is literally inspired by Sephiroth.
Stabbing
use
Aerith?
math?
I know who that is.
So you just use math to destroy everything?
Stabbing
'Cause
Aerith?
That's what it was
I'll
math.
let y'all figure it out if it gets used because I set the condition I won't use this until this is like game calling. But it'll get folks on the edge of their seat. All right, let's roll this free month. Bam! Coleslaw, you won it! All right, so like I said,
Congratulations.
expect that in your inbox after the stream, and I will be sending that over the code so that you can have that. All right, so as was stated, let me just say one thing real quick. Yeah, there is a pretty fucking sick Monday through Wednesday lineup in the TTRPG world right now. You got us on Monday evenings, Shakar Tuesday evenings, Strix You Wednesday evenings, which is why I refuse to put up my episode on Wednesday because I know how I am. When I go to watch things on YouTube or whatever, I'll tend to watch them in the evening afterwards, and I refuse to compete with Strix You. So our web episodes, I'm not even kidding about that. It was a deliberate choice. So our episodes will be hosted on YouTube Live Thursday moving forward.
Nice.
Okay. That was a very
got
deliberate
you,
choice
got
for that
you.
exact thing.
Nice, nice.
So
It works so
thank you
well.
all. So thank you all so very much. Let me go ahead and click raid. I appreciate all of your support so much. I hope you are all here next week as well to support and see where this story goes. Because as you can see, things are starting to ramp up. Poor Remus.
I'm gonna miss him
I'm
out
gonna
of
miss
game.
Remus so much.
I
Remus,
knew
you know?
I knew he was gonna die. I
That
just
hurt.
didn't think it was gonna be
Because
now.
we wanted to do it.
I thought
We
it was
wanted
gonna
to
be
do it.
at least 3 or 4 episodes in. I didn't think it would be this fast.
I
That-
wanted
that-
to
that
make sure
hurts.
it hurt.
It did
No more
hurt.
boots. No more boot sparkles.
Nope.
Dang, my boot spangles.
Notice I did it as many times as I could this episode because I knew
Yeah.
I wouldn't get to keep coming up with new ways to end that word.
Pouring out for Remus.
Or one out for
let's
You
Remus.
know something? Now we're gonna
Make sure
have
it's
to, like, carry
expensive
that
though, because
on
he would
another
judge you for
ride.
your taste in liquor.
Absolutely.
That's true.
100% would.
Or just in an expensive bottle.
Thank you all so very much for hanging out with us. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. Until next time, we'll catch you later.